Located in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, Fallen Timber Meadery is named after this region of Alberta, Canada. The area is a hidden treasure characterized by the merger of ranch lands and untracked forests, and home to stunning mountain views and Canadian wildlife. It is here where the Ryan family produces pure water-white clover honey, and mead is pristine as the namesake Fallen Timber Creek. Inspired by the sublime landscape and the honey it awards, the Fallen Timber Meadery continues to pursue excellence in all of their meads. From classic traditional meads to innovative session meads and braggots, Fallen Timber Meadery is emerging from the wild with great Canadian mead. Visit us online at www.fallentimbermeadery.ca.
I want to start out the show with a shout out to Jack Spurko, and if you're a mead follower like I am, you belong to every, and I'll go over the list in a minute, but there's a number of mead groups out there that are just really amazing. And I found one. This is on the mead group. Jack Spurko, he tells a story of how he accidentally figured out how a 3-flower blend of tea actually helped act as a clearing agent in a mead that he made. He also doesn't rehydrate his yeast. He pitches it directly into 100-degree must and has consistently had great outcomes in 30 to 60 days. Awesome article in the mead group. And I'm trying to get his permission to post that article on the Gotmead.com website. So
that'd be great.
Yeah, looking forward to hearing from Jack. It's quite a lengthy post that he made, but just wanted to throw that shout out to Jack Spurko. Nice job, Jack.
Yeah, I saw that post. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was. Hey,
I'll have to go dig it up.
Welcome to Gotmead Live. This is a show where you can meet all kinds of people that impact mead making, including beekeepers, honey specialists. We've even had people who turned a hobby into a business. It's always a party here at Gotmead Live. My co-host tonight, Vicki Rowe, owner of Gotmead.com, and of course AJ Ermans, longtime winemaker, beer brewer, and let's see if I can get this one right. Meat maker and keeper of the Toothless Rabbit. So,
who isn't named Toothless?
Yeah.
Just saying, you know.
What's the name of the rabbit?
Van Helsing.
Van Helsing, yeah.
Van Helsing. Van Helsing, the Toothless Rabbit. Tonight, it's just going to be a party here at Gotmead.com. Tysen Persick and Alan Jones from Meadmakrs are going to join us here tonight. And I know everybody, in fact, Vicki just asked me again tonight, when's the next article coming from JD's Adventures in Mead Making?
Yeah, JD goes to Mead Wonderland, you know.
I'm working on it. This one's going to be AJ, JD, and JAOM. It's where I finally met AJ. And we talked until great lengths, until 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, my time. Keep in mind I'm on the West Coast, please.
Which means you were keeping her up all night. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
So, working on it. So.
Well, and those of you that are out there, we are always looking for interesting stuff to just post on Gotmead. So if you've got something you just, that you throw out on Facebook that you thought was interesting, that's like article length, or even if it's super short article length, like a couple paragraphs, I'm always looking for interesting stuff to put up on GM. I want this to be a place where folks can go and get good info. So if you've got something you think is interesting, drop me an email at gotmead@gotmead.com. Let's get you up there and on the front page.
You bet. And this is a forum sighting. This is like one of those UFO sighting things.
Sasquatch exists.
I saw Medicine Faye in the forums about a week and a half ago, and I sent now. Okay. Now, how do I say this?
You sent Medicine Faye
I sent Medicine Faye a message.
Yeah, there you go.
to please send me an email address and also Vicky, so that
all you had to do is ask me. I can see the email addresses.
Oh, cool! There you go. Well, you need to send and medicine.
I am the leader of the forum and all that stuff.
There you go. You hold the key.
Vicky is always.
I do. The only thing I can't see is their passwords, which is a good thing. But yeah, I can see emails. So yeah, I probably should drop Meds and Faye an email and see if we can lure the elusive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's showtime, Medicine. If you're listening to this, really would like to get you on the show for sure.
Yeah, you have a lot to offer, man. And we'd love to have you come in and party with us and, just share mead making tidbits and info. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
As I believe the one person who's put more posts on Gotmead than me.
Yeah.
Well, there's two people I think that have got more than you, unless are you ahead of Oscar now?
I might be. I don't know. I'll have to go check.
I don't know. He had more posts than everybody, including me, which was ridiculous. I mean, for a while there, he posted on like every single thread. It was just, he was everywhere all the time. It was kind of frightening.
Yeah, I was like that when I was unemployed.
Yeah.
I saw a count of something like 2,100 and something for Oscar. I don't know where that number or how I got to that number.
Oh, he's got way more than 2,000, I think.
I would assume so. What are we drinking here tonight, Vicky?
I am drinking the last bottle of the Golden Coast that Frank so generously sent us. And it's the Savage Bois Oaked Orange Blossom Traditional. I'm drinking it at room temp, and it's very nice. It's got the little bit of oaky tannins in that back end. The orange is right there. Slight bit of petulance, I think, just because it's been sitting, I don't know, probably just because it's been sitting on the counter. But it's, it's clear and nice and clean, and it's a really easy drinker. I like it.
Yeah. As soon as we get back from North Carolina, 3 days later, it's a quick turnaround, do the laundry, and we're going to jam down to San Diego for a week to something Kona Kai, something resort or some damn place. And Oceanside is on the way. So I'm
cool.
going to make every attempt to stop in and see the boys, Frank Goldbeck and the guys down there at Golden Coast. So if you're listening, Frank, I'll be contacting you here in the next month or so, and we'll try to set that up. And yeah, I'm going to bring my camera, take pictures. We'll spend a couple hours, talk about mead, and maybe even try to get some kind of a feature article or something on the Gotmead.com website. So looking forward to that. AJ, what are you drinking tonight?
My friend Devin made a Russian Imperial Stout, and I'm about 3 mouthfuls in and already feeling it. It's it's got a really sweet finish that was quite surprising. It's not very bitter. It's very lightly carbonated. It's got a citrusy nose, and it's darker than Guinness.
Nice.
And I'm quite enjoying it, and I hope he actually wrote down a recipe for this.
He's a chemist. It's all in his head somewhere, probably.
I popped open a bottle of Redstone Meadery Nectar of the Hops, and David Myers, I gotta tell you, bud, this stuff is outstanding. And Vicky, they're these big blue bottles.
Love the Redstone bottles, man. They've got some of the coolest bottles out there. There's those and the stone bottle. Superstition does stone bottles that are just an eye for too.
This is it's a sweet. I would even call it a semi-sweet. It's not real sweet. It's just
it's not.
Very, very much to my liking. I can taste it's almost a gentle hop flavor in it. Very kind of beer-like. I love this stuff. And I'm going to have to probably set my headset down, step away from the mic, and take the bottle back to the kitchen. Otherwise, I'll drink this whole damn thing tonight. So,
and those are not small bottles. If you've got a full size bottle of it, that's like a full liter of mead. So
yeah. And I want to throw a shout out to Doug over in the Netherlands. He got up early.
Hi, Doug.
He's been having some major. He was in the hospital here just a few weeks back. Had some major back issues. He's on all kinds of pain meds and wanted to inform us that he's drinking coffee-flavored coffee. So I hope you're feeling better out there, Doug. Hey, you know what? If you want to listen to the show, just simply go to Gotmead. You know, I used to go through this whole rundown about where our show was and how to get there and all this stuff. It's real easy now. Gotmead.com. Everything you need to listen to the show now or later is on Gotmead.com. All the apps are there. It'll take you to the Play stores and to the whatever Apple uses for their apps and all that stuff. You know, you can take the show with you. You know, we're very mobile, even the live show, also the replays. So the replays are housed on the SoundCloud thing. There's an app for that, iTunes, Stitcher Radio. We're just all over the place out there. But if you go to Gotmead.com, click on that radio link up there, Vicki, everything is right there. Yep. Facebook, that's real simple too. Gotmead. Just put in Gotmead and a little search deal up there on the top of the Facebook deal. Oh, and I was going to tell you about...
and don't forget to like the page if you come and see us, you know. Yeah. Because then you'll be able to find it again.
Yeah. When it comes to... you know, when it comes to Facebook and Mead Group... Okay, now I'm going to read these kind of fast, so if you want to write them down, you're just going to have to listen to the show later on. But I found Mead, American Meadmakrs Association, Mead Recipes, Mead Books, Gotmead, Mead Friends, Mead Brewers and Enthusiasts, 2100 Mead Making for Beginners UK, Mead High School Band. Well, I don't think that's a Mead group, but what the heck. Hampton Roads Meadmakrs, Fruit, Wine, and Mead Making. So that's just a partial list of all of the mead. I just typed mead into the Facebook search deal, and that's what it came up with. So.
Dang, I'll have to do a page on Gotmead with links to all of those.
Yeah, a bunch of them out there. Hey, the Twitter thing, at Gotmead Now. Vicki maintains the Twitter deal there. If you can't call us tonight, you can certainly...
tweet us.
There
you go. We'll get you trained. Yeah.
Tweet us. Yeah. Oh, you know, and I even got it written right there. Tweet us.
There you go. Tweet us. Yeah.
Ask Oscar. Keep the questions coming. Oscar will be back. In fact, he's going to be on the show next week. He's busy with the Mazer Cup, right, Vicki?
Busy with the Mazer Cup, which closed entries in fastest time ever this year. They went through every single home entry and maxed out in like 8 days. Wow. From open to close. It was stunning. And I think it took 14 days last year. And the business, professional mead makers closed, I want to say 4 or 5 days ago. And, you know, so just amazing, how quick they're zipping through their entries and getting things locked up. And they increase the entries a little bit every year. I mean, it's basically around how many judges can you get. There's only so many meads can be judged in a given period of time. And right now we're doing it all in one day for each competition. So home is in one day and then commercials in one day. Wow. So unless they either expand into multiple days for judging or get a bigger judge pool, there's going to be a point at which they can't really increase entries anymore. So that's kind of what's happening, but it's amazing. I mean, it's just so stunning how fast they just blew through all the entries.
Yeah. Well, keep the questions coming for the Ask Oscar segments. We'll certainly get to them again when we fire up the Ask Oscar segments here on the show. You can call us 818-921-4680, 818-921-4680. Heck, put us on your speed dial if you want. You can also become a supporting member patron member of the Gotmead.com forum. It's only $25 a year. And it's a great investment because it takes you to another side of the forum that few people have seen, where there's a lot more in-depth information if you really want to learn how to make excellent meads and get involved with recipes that are absolutely award-winning and proven recipes. I mean, this is the real deal. Then pay that $25, get that access, and you'll be amazed at what you see there. Right now, we're going to step away, take our first commercial break. When we come back, Tysen Perzik and Alan Jones from the Meadmakrs will be right back. Known for the most amazing and creative alcoholic beverages made from honey, Bee Nectar is a worldwide sensation. Bee Nectar gives their fans a variety of options, from their famous Zombie Killer, a hard cider made with honey and cherries to kill all the golfers, a lightly carbonated draft mead made with black tea and lemon juice. Bee Nectar makes meads, ciders, and beers that extend beyond the traditional. They let their imaginations guide them. Learn more at BeeNectar.com. That's BeeNectar with a K.com. If you're a mead maker, you need Gotmead.com. It is the absolute best and most complete resource for mead making you will ever need. The forum consists of recipes, discussion on equipment, techniques, and methods, complete with its own batch calculator. Gotmead.com offers everything you need to start making mead today. And for just $25 a year, as a patron member, you'll have access to proven award-winning recipes, fermentation management, equipment discussion, and a whole lot more. Gotmead.com. Sign up today. Growing up in a culture where home winemaking was a way of life, Sergio Mutella naturally began making wine himself as an adult, finding his way into brewing beer and eventually his discovery of mead. Earning numerous mead-making awards, Melovino opens its doors, becoming the first meadery in the Garden State. Featuring 20 different craft meads with amazing variety, Melovino is the fastest-growing meadery in the country. Melovino offers tastings and tours every weekend, and all of their meads are available online, shipping to 22 states across the country. Go to Melovino.com and book your tour and tasting today. Located at 2933 Vauxhall Road near the rear of the Millburn Mall in Vauxhall, New Jersey. Melovino.com. Hey, this is J.D. Webb from Gotmead Live. You know, it's all about the mead here at Gotmead, and I have to tell you, I am in love with Fling from Moonlight Meadery. The way they balance the tartness from the rhubarb against the semi-sweet strawberry and orange blossom honey is just amazing. Do yourself a favor. Go buy some Moonlight Meadery meads now. Visit them at their online store at moonlightmeadery.com/store or ask for it where you shop. Demand it where you shop. Ask for Moonlight Meadery mead. We are back.
And we are being silly.
One of these days, I'm just going to accidentally leave the mics live.
Won't they be in for a treat?
You know, assassins are cheap in California. There's a lot of unemployment there. So, yeah.
You know, I mean, even the after show, I swear, one of these days, I'm just going to flip the record button on and record the after show and
hold it as bribery material.
But hey, Tysen Perzik and Alan Jones joining us here tonight from the Meadmakrs.com. We've had them on the show before. Good evening, kids, boys, gentlemen.
Hi there. Kids.
Hey,
kids.
Yeah, well, anybody.
I think we're kids compared to them, Tysen. I mean, they called you under 30 last episode, right?
I know, that was pretty good.
Are you? Oh, you're not under 30 anymore?
No.
Ah.
Wow.
I mean, I am not for long, but
kids.
Well, at 62 years old, anybody who's 20 years younger than me, 30 years younger, let's make it 30.
And if that's the case, then you can stop calling me a kid because I'm only 10 years younger than you. So you can just stop right now.
Stop. Yeah.
The person who calls me kid most often is actually 2 years younger than me. So
there you go. Tysen Perzik, Alan Jones joining us, and I thought what we'd do, guys. We have a show coming up here in the next few weeks where we're putting together a panel of industry professionals from virtually every aspect of the mead making world. It's it's going to feature the whole 2-hour show. It's broken down into 4 segments. I thought what we'd do tonight is touch on some of the subject matter that we're going to deal with on that night and kind of get a perspective from the non-professional mead maker side of the house. Those of us that are home mead makers, and see what we think about some of the things. The show is going to feature, it's going to focus on sustainability, the business of mead, evolution of the art, and then, of course, where do we go from here when it's all said and done with? So I'll kick it off. Let's talk about sustainability here for a minute. What would you guys like to see as far as some level of sustainability in our mead making world?
Well, how about this? How about something where if, you don't want to have beehives, right? Like, because that's probably part of sustainability. If you want to make mead, you need honey, so you need bees. But if you don't want to do that yourself, is there some way like a company buys carbon shares so they can pollute more or something like that? Can we buy some bee shares? Is there a community thing where we can all get together to really support some bees directly? Get them to write us postcards each month about how well they're doing, show the little bee families. Yeah. And then we can make mead and not feel bad about not keeping up on the front end.
There you go. I actually like the idea of a timeshare type thing or a co-op.
Timeshare.
Yeah.
I like the co-op thing. Not a timeshare, it'd be more like the farm shares, so if somebody's got 50 beehives, they can sell shares in the hives that you get, so you get a share of honey for however many shares you bought. Mm-hmm. And I think that would be awesome because it'd be a great way for people who want quantities of honey to get it. And it provides the beekeeper with steady income on a monthly basis, so they know they've got money coming in.
And not necessarily based on quantity either.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you're paying blah amount, say $40 a month for, just to pull a number out of the air, $40 a month for your share in the hives. And 1 month that might be a gallon of honey, another month that might be 3 or 5 gallons or whatever, And if, they're like most beekeepers, they've also got, some kind of veggie thing going on. Maybe they've also can do veggie shares. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities there.
That would be a neat idea.
Well, it seems to work in the, my wife and I belong to a produce, I guess you'd call it, co-op.
Sounds like we're going to get Sergio'd here in a minute, so just letting everybody know,
We get a box a month of, whatever vegetables happen to be in harvest. And
so that's called a CSA, Community Supported Agriculture.
Yeah, CSA.
Exactly.
Well, and in some places you can buy, they call them shares. If you've got somebody who's got cows, you can buy a cow share. And so you get milk and cheese and, whereas my local CSA for meat, I can get pieces of the cow after they've rendered it, so I'm not getting milk and cheese. I'm getting steaks and chops and burger. I'm getting pieces of the cow. Yeah. So, but I've seen it around here. There's a couple of places that do shares where you basically get the renewable bits,
Well, I mean, this whole thing about sustainability, I mean, it's kind of the new buzzword going on, the organic farming, all that kind of thing. And I think there's another side to this mead making that I think a lot of us either, I don't know if we just forget it or just ignore it. It just isn't at the top of the list. But, it is the bees that provide us the materials to make mead. And what are we doing as home meat makers? I mean, there's all kinds of ideas that we're going to, throw out to the panel here in a couple of weeks about, what the industry can do. But what about us as home mead makers? What is it that we can do to help contribute to the sustainability of bees and beehives, that kind of beekeepers even?
I think the biggest one's going to be buying local. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And actually knowing your apiary rather than buying corporate honey.
Yeah. Tysen, what do you think?
Well, I support the local stuff. But I don't know. My hardest part with doing anything local is putting the time in to find those things. So any kind of sort of assistance, if people have, a group, a community, or if people just go in together or share the knowledge or some sort of local exchange so that you can find this stuff, that would help me do that.
Yeah. Alan?
I mean, I'm in agreement. One of the hardest things, honey.com, their honey locator is fantastic for finding things, but it's still oftentimes in the few, like when I've gone and searched, it still seems mostly larger packers and finding the local honeys. And unfortunately, like some of it comes down to cost too. So supporting your local beekeeper is significantly more expensive because they can make so much more money selling at $1 a pound. Or sorry, at $8 a pound.
$8 a pound.
I want to pay. Yeah. So like I want to pay $3 a pound if I'm going to buy in bulk, and trying to find that agreement where I'm going to get 10 gallons of honey a year because that's how much I need minimum, even on a home brewing scale. Like it's difficult. Granted, at the same time, I always want to buy local. It's harder to find that quantity from the local farmers market.
And you're right, because I have gone to, they've got a state fairgrounds flea market here. State fairgrounds is right in Raleigh, and the flea market's biggest one, like in 4 states. I mean, it's just ginormous, and they have it every weekend. And there's a lot of local farmers. So you got the honey folks, and in the summer months, you're going to see some of the veggie people out there and stuff like that. But I've gone to the honey sellers and said, all right, I'm a mead maker, and I buy my honey in 5-gallon pails. What kind of price can you give me for that? And they're like, well, I wouldn't want to even sell it to you in 5-gallon pails because see this honey bear right here, I get $8.50 for that. And it's like 6 ounces of honey, and they're getting so I can't blame them. I mean, if they can sell it all day long at $8-9 a pound, why would they have any motivation to sell it to me for $3 a pound if I'm going to buy 5 gallons?
Yeah.
Well, my apiary is a little bit bigger than. It's a fairly large apiary to the point where it actually buys honey off of some local beekeepers as well. Oh, okay. But they've got right in their store, if you go there, they've got a bulk tank, and they're quite happy with you bringing your own containers and buying at it's $3 a pound, which is
that $3 a pound Canadian, right?
Yeah, but the price is for you to buy it would be better than $3 a pound, but for me to buy it, it's still $3 a pound.
Yeah. I always get the math backwards on that one.
Anything, I usually shop by the pound too if when I'm looking around for honey. And I try to limit, I put my upper limit at like $5 a pound. I'm not going to pay any more than that. If I have to pay more than that, then I'm either not looking hard enough or I need to quit mead making and brew beer.
Or it's a really, really special honey.
Yeah. Something that I can't get locally, I'd be willing to pay a little bit extra to get. I'm fortunate, though, because I just hooked up with a local beekeeper that I bought my first 5-gallon bucket of honey from.
Was that honey? Was it any good? I mean,
you had to do that. Oh, yeah, really. Bring out the heavenly choir.
You can listen to the past 3 or 4 shows and figure that out.
I can't figure that out just listening. I mean, I got to try it to really know.
Who knew God was a beekeeper? I mean, really, go figure.
Even Chris from Mississippi. I mean, he even called the show and was raving about it too. But here's the deal, okay? I figure I got to give back somehow, and I'm really into this whole sustain. I mean, you're talking to an old farmer from Colorado anyway, former rancher. So I'm very big on sustainability. The organic part, the whole 9 yards, and I got to figure out how can I give back somehow, and try to ensure the survival of the bee. And what I'm going to do is work with my beekeeper. I'm going to go out with him and learn his trade and help him do what he does. And that makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm contributing. And for that, I mean, if I get a 5-gallon bucket of honey from him at a reduced cost, then fine. But if not, I don't care because I'm still contributing. And
that might be the simplest answer. Go help your local beekeeper. Don't just buy local. Go help local.
Yeah. My smaller beekeeper, if his bees hadn't all died, that's what I had been planning to do.
New Jersey is on the line with us tonight. Sergio Motella joining the show. Welcome, Sergio.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Sergio.
Hey, Sergio.
Hey.
We're
I'm the other. I'll be the third kid on the podcast.
But you're like the older brother, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alan and Tysen. I got each of their heads under each of my arms.
Don't forget to tweak their ears.
Noogies.
Yeah.
What in this whole sustainability movement, guys, is there a role that agriculture should play in this? We're talking pesticides, chemicals, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we don't even want to go there though, because that leads to a whole can of worms that once you open it, consumes you. I mean, I think it. I mean, I noticed my local grocery store, Aldi actually, just said that they stopped selling vegetables with, was it
neonicotinoids?
Yeah, neonicotinoids. Yeah, that they stopped selling veggies in which that is used, and I thought that's cool, because that's one step further. It's one step further without having to go into that place where Monsanto comes and kicks your door down and takes you away. Which nobody wants to go there.
No, but when it impacts those of us at home too. I mean, everybody goes to farmers market, and farmer markets across the country are on the rise. People are getting into the organic produce and organic foods. They're wanting to eat and drink healthier, at that point, what are we doing? I mean, what do we think? Should we be talking to our congressman about limiting pesticides, chemicals, that kind of thing in our food? I mean, that includes honey. Well,
why don't you make a need for it, right? Like if you just do stuff at home that uses all these great things, then more people will want to do it because there's money in it, right? Isn't that the basic sort of economics here? So if everybody can just do everything at home, like make mead at home, that'll make everybody want more honey and more mead too. Then you can do a whole bunch of other stuff at home that involves local stuff. And it's healthy for you too, because Vicky saw the photo that I posted on Twitter. Sorry, JD, you didn't see it.
And she tweet,
and she asked, "What is?"
You're fermenting.
Yeah, go ahead, just describe it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I see a jar of what looks like fermented, not slaw, but sauerkraut, and I can't tell what's in this other jar. It looks like an embryonic shrimp clinging to the wall of a jar, but I think that's something behind it.
You're seeing the pink elephant behind the glass.
The pink elephant? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I see a glass of what's probably vinegar. A Charm City Meadworks can of mead, your horn thing, your horn mug, your microphone, which I love, the poofy red ball. It looks like a clown nose. And and so obviously, and you're saying I'm going to mix a drink. So I'm just wondering, what are you going to do with the sauerkraut?
Well, the sauerkraut is something I had to finish it before I came down here. And it was just leftovers, right? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of people who on the opposite side, you could control the whole production. You make everything organic or whatever, but we could also just waste less coming out the other side. And so this was like 2 leftover carrots that didn't get used up for some meals. Had a few jalapenos that were starting to get shrivelly. Had half a cabbage and some weird radishes I bought at the Asian supermarket. And so I'm just going to ferment it, and you can see the little blue nipple thing on the top. That's my pickle pipe. So it's from Mason Tops, and they had a Kickstarter, and so it's a silicone airlock. So I don't need a moat of water, or I don't need a 3-piece mead one. I can it fits right on the top of a mason jar, and the little nipple thing lets the gases out and nothing in. So
that's cool.
Drunfell would be so proud you're fermenting in mason jars.
I know, right?
Yep. Yeah. I've almost got up to doing the mead in them, but there's a little gadget inside. It's these little glass pebbles to hold down the fermenting stuff to keep it below the water line. So it's a whole setup. It's great. So that's going there. That's not going in the drink, at least not at this end. It's got a ferment. But I've seen some people use sauerkraut juice or kimchi juice in things. I haven't gone so far as to make it into a mead cocktail, but one day, I'll do that.
You never know. It could happen.
My wife is
You've got the kombucha on the right, though, for the mead cocktail, right?
Yes, you did see the kombucha. So that's what's in the nondescript
kombucha
jar.
on the right?
Yes.
Okay, I thought vinegar, but all right.
And so I wanted to do a sour mead, and so I figured if I just mix it with my kombucha, the Charm City in the can here will carbonate up the kombucha, and it'll be sour. And then in the little glass, I've got some ginger syrup that I also did, and I threw in a dash of orange bitters. So that's all going to go in the alehorn, alehorn.com. If you want to go buy one, we talked about them in one of our posts. We got a link that you can go check out.
That science show on TV here not long ago for kids. What was that called?
The science show for children. I mean, is this one where
Bill
it was
Nye the Science Guy,
or is it like Mr. Wizard or something even older?
Well, maybe it wasn't for kids, but there used to be a science show on, and we should start a science show. Tyson's
Weird Acts of Science.
And Tysen hasn't done the wild meads yet. I'm the one with all that stuff going on.
Oh, you're doing the wild mead? Oh, cool.
Well, I have a wild
drinking. You're wild making. So
yeah, I have a wild yeast ferment that actually came out really good. Maybe I'll sneak a bottle in and bring it to the Mazer Cup. We'll see.
There you go.
I'm actually going to do a side-by-side comparison of the wild yeast against the ale yeasts for like the Bomb and then WLP 001, 002, and 570. And then I have inspired by Frank Golbeck when he talked about the Jun that started their sour program.
Oh, yeah.
I drink a lot of yerba mate, and so I'm making a yerba mate and honey concoction trying to wild ferment. Who knows what the heck's starting in there, because I don't have access to an actual Jun. It has some interesting growths in it. Nothing moldy yet, but there's at least some yeast.
There's stingy stuff in there, is there?
At least some bacterial bloom, and I don't really know what else is coming on in there. So hopefully I don't die between one of these episodes, but we'll see what happens.
What about you, Sergio? You doing anything weird and strange these days?
No, not really. Can't say I have. I was experimenting with something
started?
new, but nothing. No, not yet. But that brochet that I'm going to be doing is going to be like a year-long project before it's ever released, though. It's, it's kind of a little top secret recipe, but we're about to start it up in a few months, but it'll only be released like probably by fall of 2018 or 2017 rather.
When's the prickly pear coming out? Because you cook some of those up in those fermenters, right?
Oh yeah, that's actually coming out end of this month, 3rd, 4th week of February. Yeah, we got a ton of meats coming out at the end of this month.
This is me making a Jaeger face. Everybody knows my opinion of prickly pear meats. I do not keep a secret about that. Although I will try yours because hey, you never know.
You never know. Well, you always said you didn't like dry strawberry meads, and I had you taste one of mine when you came up to visit.
Oh, I love yours, yeah. Well,
unless you were really feeling it, you said you liked it. So.
No, I don't mind about those things. I would have found some nice way to go, oh, interesting, but I wouldn't have actually come out and said it was good if it wasn't good.
Yeah, I think you did use the word "dude" in the response, so I took it as authentic.
Yeah. That was it. No, I was really surprised because it's rare to find a dry strawberry that's good. it's hard to do a dry strawberry and sustain the fruit. I don't know why that is. I don't know the chemistry of it, but it's rare to see a dry strawberry that really makes it. So I was really surprised that yours turned out so well. I was prepared for it to be bad, and it wasn't.
Yeah, secret is a lot of strawberry, and you have to leave a little tiny bit of residual sweetness.
Yeah, you got something in there.
1004 final gravity, like
yeah.
Is that the solo Fragola?
Yep.
I'm good.
Yeah, it was served at the James Beard House last year.
Oh, nice. Is that one of the ones that you had at the Beard House? Cool.
Yeah,
I'm serving it at a tasting that we auctioned off at my kids' elementary school fundraiser. So they're gonna get to try that next weekend.
Man's auctioning off drinking sessions at the elementary school fundraiser. Think about this.
Hey, those children have parents.
That
we're talking about sustainability. We need a next generation mead drinker too. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but these are elementary school students, and those parents probably need a drink. So
Yes. If you've met them, you would understand they do need a drink.
Hey, I had a kid. Well, I have a kid, but she's no longer a child. But there was many that commercial where the mom's grabbing one and then 2 bottles of wine as she goes by at the grocery store when they're calling for the snowstorm. That was yeah. It's like
that's mommy's juice.
Yeah, mommy's juice, and then we'd hit the liquor store on the way home. So yeah. I forgot to ask, what are you guys drinking?
I have Sinfonia from Melavino. Or Sinfonia, is that how you pronounce it, Sergio?
Yeah.
Probably.
Sinfonia.
Yeah. It's a mead made from 3 different honey varietals and oaked. It's enjoyable.
Okay.
Well, Sergio knows what it is.
Wait, that's Alan, right? That's Alan.
Yes, that's Alan.
Okay, sorry. I started writing under Tysen going, wait, that's Alan. Okay.
Sorry, I meant to email you this, but I made the decision like 5 minutes before I got on.
That's not a problem. Yeah, no worries. It's all good. What about you, Tysen? What you drinking?
Well, you saw in the picture, I got the Charm City elderberry.
Meadmakrs. I was elder. I couldn't see.
But I've already checked that into Untappd, so I'm going to have to go find something else to check in.
Yeah, you said you needed to do your
happy Mardi Gras, everybody.
Yeah, happy Mardi Gras. Woo! Beads, minister.
Yeah, where's the Gotmead beads?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, AJ and I need to lift our shirts so we can get some beads, right?
Done. Sorry, that was out loud, wasn't it?
That wasn't out loud. Yeah, that's okay. Sergio, what about you? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a soon-to-be released also in another 3 weeks. I'm drinking our new ginger mead that's coming out.
Has it got a name yet?
Yeah, it's called The Root Cause.
I love it!
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. Good. I'll get that all updated in the page.
I ran 150 pounds of fresh ginger through my home food processor.
Oh my goodness.
Through your home food processor?
Yeah, it almost overheated about twice. We had to let it cool off for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, time to get a commercial one.
You're having too much fun with all your other commercial toys.
Yeah, yes.
Like glycol, independent glycol chillers, and all sorts of lab equipment and everything else. I mean, come on.
I was on the phone with Dara from Falcon Mead in New Mexico today, and he was talking about how he needs to get a bottling line. And I said, you need to go to the AMMA group on Facebook and go search for Sergio and bottling line. I said he's got like God's own bottling line now in his place. and I said I'm pretty sure not only does it load the bottles and then pack the bottles, but it washes the bottles, caps the bottles, labels the bottles, talks nice to the bottles, and then shakes them up a little bit before it puts them in. I said it does everything. And he's like, really?
Yes, right before going in the box. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and he's like, really? And I was like, yeah, there's pictures and everything. It's totally awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of new toys. That's why we're all so broke.
Well, you need to do like they're doing up in Michigan. St. Ambrose got himself a I think it's like one of those state funded business forward loans. Yeah, a couple $100,000 that, they'd at least, pay for the down payment on that bottling line that she got.
Yeah, no. Yeah, everything's paid off. We have zero debt, but again, we're broke.
Yeah. But you're selling your mead, and this is a good thing,
Yeah, it's all an investment, basically,
Yeah.
Now we're kind of looking at it as we have everything we need, so money's staying in the bank account now.
This is a good thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's nice to finally hit that point.
Yeah. No, definitely, man.
I spelled Melavino wrong. Oh, shoot me.
I hope to eventually hit that point before I die.
Yeah, that would be nice. I'd be able to at least be able to say that for a minute. Look, debt free. Oh, damn. That would be too cool. So, all right.
So JD, how's that wildflower honey mead going?
It's doing pretty well. We're quite a ways into it. The fermentation slowed down quite a bit. Probably going to rack it here in a few days and add about eight or nine vanilla beans to it, and just let it sit for a year. So, wow, come along pretty good. I did a.
So, you used all of the honey?
I used 20. I don't know, something around 22, 23 pounds. I don't go by exact measurements. I use the hydrometer anymore. I put enough in to get it up where I need it, and then finish it off with the hydrometer. So I have no idea how many pounds that actually went in. But
what was your starting gravity?
1.135.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. All right.
Yeah. So I made a 1 gallon version using the same yeast, the same honey, and stuck a vanilla bean in during secondary, and it's already cleared. Gave a little glass of it to my wife. She said it tasted like a cream soda. That's what I'm trying to get to with this wildflower thing. If I can make this big batch taste like the little batch, then it's a good thing.
Cream soda. How interesting.
Nice. Yeah, I like cream soda.
Me too.
Not carbonated, mind you. I just don't care for carbonated meads, but that's what she came away with. So.
Coming from the guy who said he loved Golden Coast meads.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Come on, JD. I'm calling your BS on this.
Then again, I don't like dry meads, and those were, and I like them, so.
Yeah, there's a big difference in the meads that I've tasted. Golden Coast meads were not like anything else that I have ever tasted, and they were more on a very refreshing type of. I mean, the ones that I had were to me summertime type stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could sit out under the sun, and stuff a couple of those in a cooler and drink them like I would a couple of bottles of beer. Where other meads, I wouldn't think of doing that. Even some of the stuff I've got from Sergio. Very good meads, but I don't know that I would put them in a cooler and take them out and sit at the beach with them. So I mean, it's just my own personal drinking habits, I guess, or choices.
Well, yeah, you're not going to be drinking 12-14% alcohol anything at the beach.
No.
I don't know. I see people doing it all the time. They're the ones that are the most amusing to watch.
Just don't go swimming, please.
Yeah.
Nobody's endorsing that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, don't try this at home.
Yes, but the Golden Coast meads are 12%.
And then even this nectar of the hops I'm drinking from Redstone Meadery, I quite like this. It is carbonated, but it's more beer-like. I mean, you can taste
another one that flies in the whole I don't like carbonated thing.
Well,
that's a trend.
Some I do, some I don't. I mean, it's personal choice, I think. And no, I don't like a lot of things carbonated. Cold beer, yes. Some meads, yes. I don't, we don't drink sodas, that kind of thing. We don't drink carbonated, I don't know, what do you call them, red wines or carbon rosés or whatever the hell they're called.
I don't know. I've always been a fan of cheap rosés that are carbonated. Yeah, they mix good with ginger ale.
They call that a wine cooler or something.
It's a spritzer, I think, is what they used to call them.
Yeah, when you mix it with ginger ale.
Yeah. Yeah, wine coolers are what the big three make and bottle up, and they're like sort of
stuff's like drinking Kool-Aid.
Wine plus juice, generally.
Yeah.
So, but this mead experience is a whole new thing for me, and yeah, I started out. I don't like carbonated beverages other than beer. But since I've never had a carbonated mead before, yeah, there's some I like. But there's some, like I had one, I don't recall the name, but I actually let it set out with the top off and drank it later, and I liked it better. So, personal choice.
Yeah. I've had regular meads and carbonated meads, and it just depends on the mead. Some get carbonated that are like, what were you thinking? Because I've judged some that it was like, okay, where were you going with this?
Why?
You're right, exactly. And, and some are just really awesome that way. But, I see a lot more home meads that way than pro, because with the pro meads, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Sergio, there's like ridiculously stupid taxes on carbonated meads, isn't there?
Yeah. You jump from 17 cents a gallon to about $3.14 a gallon if it's sparkling.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was having this conversation earlier with Dara, and he was saying that ciders, it's a whole different thing, especially now that the Cider Act is passed.
Yeah. The meat industry, with the AMMA, one of the goals is to try to ride the coattails of that, and try to throw meat into that same category. Like anything under, I think we're going for same thing as cider, like anything under 8.5% that we can carbonate. Basically, it would double the allowed amount of carbonation up to almost like 4 volumes of CO2. Without actually having to pay the sparkling wine tax. The whole sparkling wine tax, that was like it was a luxury tax that was imposed way back when. When there were no sparkling wines being produced in the U.S. and all the sparkling wine was imported champagne. So
it's another holdover
tax, and just never got rid of it.
Yeah, it's like a blue law. It's just one of those weird things that's just left over from days gone by that should have gone away a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. But nobody's ever been bothered to do anything about it.
Okay, Tysen, so what do we got now? Charm City elderberry plus ginger syrup plus kombucha and orange bitters? Interesting.
Yeah, that was my drink. And even though Charm City's in a can, it's carbonated, even though they're not allowed to go up to 4 volumes or whatever, it's still like shot everywhere. I've been cleaning my phone. Somehow it got in my phone case. So. But the drink is lovely. I mean, like, I'm glad I just wrote all that down so I can remember what I did next time. But yes, this is a very nice drink.
Yeah, I'm trying to fit it into a retweet right now because it's like 10 too long. So.
Well, take out all the spaces.
I'm working on that, yeah.
JD, are you taking notes?
I'm drinking mead.
Oh, man. JD,
I tried to get a photo of the wild stuff I have going. I can't do anything to get a photo of this stuff. I've got like weird globs of like hills growing in the bottom of it that I think it's bacterial blooms that are putting out cellulose that is similar to what forms in a kombucha, but I can't capture it with my phone at all.
I think I had something that got infected once and it produced cellulose because I had to peel it, and it peeled out in a sheet off of my brew bag.
So did you pound it into mead paper and then sell it? I mean, I would have.
Another sustainability project.
That's
there we go.
Right, yeah. Taking, mash that up with a whole bunch of shredded junk mail and paper,
100% recycled.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, my current science project is the bucket of apple shreds with water and sugar and apparently fruit flies that I chucked out in the garage because fruit flies.
Yeah, because the better half gets pissy when fruit flies are all over the kitchen.
Well, I get pissy when fruit flies are all over the kitchen too. They get up my nose and stuff, and I keep yelling at stop licking my stuff.
Yeah.
Try running a meadery with fruit flies, man.
Oh my god! What do you do about
fermenting,
that? What do you do about that?
I keep the EC on 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's like, besides obviously keeping everything nice and clean. Once they're there, they're kind of like they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, even when you clean it up.
We put a few fly strips up like here and there around the production area, and then whenever we leave out like 1 or 2 glasses of with half an ounce of meat in them. And that's nothing even on top. That's just enough to kind of get them into the glass and they stay there and get rid of them slowly. But
I find a little bit of
keeping the AC on actually really helps.
I find a little bit of cider vinegar in the bottom of a ramekin with a drop of dish soap does the trick really nicely because it breaks the surface tension. So when they come to get some, they drown.
Yeah. Well, and see what I do too is I would make a cone of paper and put it in like a mason jar. So I'd get a cone of paper and stick it in there, and then they fly in and they can't figure out how to fly back out if they manage to survive somehow.
So there you go, folks. Never knew how to kill fruit flies. Thanks for listening to Gotmead Live. We just told you.
Yep.
Genocide.
3 different ways to solve your fruit fly problem.
That's right. To reduce the fruit fly population. They are. I never thought about that on a meadery level, but oh my God, yeah. And it's not like, even if you keep things really clean, there's going to be spillage. You got honey, you got fruit, you got, fruit juice, you just got stuff everywhere.
Oh yeah, we keep everything nice spick and span, but even to the point where if we pull a sample out of like a sample valve from one of our tanks, we're shooting like star sand up into the sample valve even after we close it. Everything, but there's just really not much you can do with that much CO2 being produced. They're just always gonna find their way in.
They linger.
Yeah. But I'm sure it's the same way at any meadery, winery, brewery, anywhere that's distilling, anywhere that's fermenting. It's always going to be a problem.
You don't start a meadery to make mead. You start a meadery because you love mopping. Obviously, that's the main goal. You want to be a janitor in your life if you start a meadery.
Well, if you go look on the in the mead groups, that's what John Talkington says. That's why he's the glamorous life of a brewer mopping floors.
Oh yeah. Listen, especially on the owner side of things, 80% of the job is cleaning, 20% is paperwork. Whatever. Well, there is nothing left after that, but whatever time you got left, that's when you make mead. Yeah, it's not all making mead and drinking mead all day. I wish.
No, that's just all night.
Yeah,
all day is the real work.
And I don't know. I get to the point. There comes a point, and this happens to me every year at the Mazer Cup, and not so much during the rest of the year because I'm not drinking mead all the time at home. But after the Mazer Cup, I don't want anything to do with mead for like days, weeks, months, even. Because I'm just meaded out. I'm so ready for a beer at the end of the Mazer Cup. It's not funny.
It was recommended to go find a really good IPA last year because you're just all that sweetness that comes through. You need something to cut through.
Yeah,
that bitter just really helps.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of IPAs, so I usually go for like a porter or a creek or something like that. But I just want something not mead. At that point, Sergio, do you ever get to where you just don't even want to drink your own stuff that much?
Not really, but I'll say this. We drink a good amount of beer at the meadery. We don't only just drink mead. It's kind of like they say. It's it takes a lot of great beer to make great wine. I think the same thing applies in a meadery setting, in my opinion. Yeah, because if you're drinking mead all the time, geez, you're not going to get anything done.
Yeah.
Well, I love the only eating one thing.
Yeah, it is. I like the crossover of.
No matter how much you like mac and cheese, you still don't want to eat it every day, all day for every meal.
Well, no, but 3 or 4 times a week isn't bad. Especially if it's really good macaroni and cheese. Oh my God, I had a lobster mac and cheese when I was down in Charleston a few weeks ago. Holy cow. Oh, it was so good. And it came with truffle fries.
Fries.
Nice.
Just saying. I mean, truffle fries, if you have not had truffle fries and you have the opportunity, I hope they're good truffle fries, because they were da bomb, man. They were so good. Oh my gosh. So good.
Yeah, either truffle fries or duck fat fries.
Duck fat fries are good too, yeah.
I have a duck in the freezer. I'm going to try that.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's the new thing now. You're starting to see them like everywhere, truffle fries, and then they sprinkle them with Parmesan cheese. So truffle fries with Parmesan cheese sprinkled on them. It's like evil. I mean, I'm pretty sure you go straight to hell after you eat them. You don't even Pesco. You just straight to hell. No hand basket required.
Speaking of duck, I've marinated duck in an orange blossom honey mead, which was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Like an orange blossom honey mead with like some garlic and chicken bouillon cube. Kind of get it all mixed up and marinate the chicken and just braise it in the marinade.
I've done turkeys with mead marinades, and what's really fun is the gravy you get out of that afterwards. Oh my God.
I find it a little bit too sweet for me, but then again, I usually only use sweet mead because I usually only have sweet mead.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've used sweet, semi-dry, and you're right, it does tend to come out a wee bit sweet, but it's so interesting,
But yeah, I've done it with a dry red wine, and that makes a very interesting gravy. I'll agree with you there.
Doug is saying chicken and waffles. He must, apparently there's no sleeping in the Netherlands tonight. So.
Poor Doug.
Yeah, poor Doug. But I feel you, Doug. My back has been spasming for days and weeks now, and they can't seem to stop it. So I totally feel your pain. But yeah, it's amazing what you can do with that. I love playing with mead and food, and I'll just grab the nearest bottle of mead and just pour a dollop in roast. When I make a roast in the crock pot, I'll put a half a bottle of meat in there because it just tenderizes the crap out of it. It's so good.
I really like using. What I like doing is when I have dregs from a batch, I'll use that for slow cooker or liquor or whatever. Or, in the roasting pan or whatever, especially with pork. I find meat and pork pair really, really well together.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, especially sizers.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, sizers and pork. Nice, either pork tenderloin or pork chop. I mean, yeah, sizers are the way to go for me, in my opinion, but with pork. But that's a pretty interesting concept, too, cooking with meat. Or just, making things with meat or enhancing any kind of food with meat. That's something that definitely hasn't, one subject that hasn't been touched upon in depth, I think. That there's definitely a gray area for somebody to fill in. I've experimented just only so much, only because I used to cook a lot. But since opening the meater, I haven't cooked as much as I normally do. But I finished my Thanksgiving Day gravy actually with Sinfonia, the mead that Alan's drinking right now. It's very earthy. It's 1/3 orange blossom, 1/3 wildflower, and 1/3 buckwheat honey. And we ferment it on the blend of 3 different oaks. It comes off tasting almost kind of like a sweet scotch kind of a thing. And I've finished my Thanksgiving Day gravy with that mead. I've poured a bourbon barrel aged mixed berry mead into my cranberry sauce, which came out incredible as well. One of our customers made mead jam, which that was phenomenal, by the way.
I've done that. I've done that a couple of times.
Yeah, there's so many things. I made a mead sorbet, which was pretty awesome. Mead over ice cream, that was awesome. I mean, there's so many things that you could do with it, and I know Tysen's played around quite a bit with mead cocktails that I wouldn't mind kind of exchanging some tales as far as that goes, because that's something I used to bartend for many years, and that's actually one thing I still haven't had time to really fool around with.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there on the internet who've been making mead cocktails and stuff, and some of it, a lot of it seems specific to certain kinds of mead, and I'd almost want to take it and make it generic. Say like, all right, you need a sizer, or boil it down to that level so that it's more, it's easily translatable for anybody. Because I know Redstone, they have a paper, that has all their cocktails, so you can go in the store and you can buy some of their different ones. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have any more of their meads because you drank them all up and you can't get them, then how do I make those drinks?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what the funny thing is? I just reminded myself. I'm a huge fan of the show Bar Rescue, and a few weeks ago, within the last season, they actually did have one place that they rescued that they implemented 2 different cocktails onto their menu that used mead. And
really?
I mean, they spoke about mead for maybe like a quick 12 to 14 seconds while they were explaining those cocktails and what it is. But I thought that was actually pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
That is cool. Yeah. Now we can just get it on Iron Chef, and then it'll be good.
All right. Tell you what, I'm the closest one to the city, to New York, so I'll go by and visit Bobby Flay real quick and see what I can get done. Actually, the chef that selected one of my meats to pour at the James Beard House, he is actually friends with Bobby Flay. I might be able to have him in over there too.
Yeah, if you can get
Network.
Yeah, get mead on the Food Network, and I love those shows where they're like, "Here's your 6 ingredients, make something." Okay, here's a bottle of mead, and salmon and nutmeg and garlic and salt and durian fruit. Make something from this. They had outrageous acts of science. And say, just to decide here, we're big fans of outrageous acts of science, which they go and find weird shit on the internet, and then they talk about the science behind it, and whether or not it was real. If it was real, then they talk about how the science worked. But they had durian fruit on there, and it was so funny because that is a recurring. And AJ, you'll know this because you've been on the forums forever. Every year, somebody comes up and says, "Can you make a mead with durian fruit?" And then there's this whole chorus of, "Oh my god, that stuff's so nasty! Oh my god!" Because
yes, but why would you want to?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and so it was just hilarious watching all these scientists talk about the durian fruit and the chemical analysis thereof. They had all these chemists on there, and they were discussing it because it smells horrible, and apparently it tastes pretty good. So if you can sort of divorce your nose from your taste buds, which is hard because that's like 70% of taste, then it's pretty good. So I was like, okay, good luck with that.
My Newfoundlander aunt brought these things called bake apples with her, and they smelled horrible. They smelled like old socks while they were cooking, but after they were cooked, the smell went away, and they actually tasted really good. So you never really know.
Gordon, Dan Gordon from Gordon Beers Company, whenever they hire a new employee at the brewery, they take them out to eat, and part of their initiation is they have to eat a whole serving of durian ice cream. Yeah. And they video every single new employee doing it.
So you get lots of Jaeger faces.
Well, there's a faux house I go to that's got durian shake on the menu.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it. If I do, I'll try it because I'm curious. But I don't know what it would taste like. I mean, does it? And once you process it into ice cream, does it still stink? I don't know.
Who knows? There's certain things I would never put into mead.
Yeah, but people do it every year. There's somebody that puts durian into mead. I mean, hell, for that matter, we've got the Great Bacon Experiment going on the Gotmead page right now, which they're on the Gotmead group, which just cracks me up.
Oh, that's nothing new. They were doing that years ago too.
Well, yeah, they've been doing it for ages, but it was fun to make a conversation out of it.
Here's a really good tip for anybody that's in that bacon mead experiment is age it on some heavy toast or heavy plus toast French oak, and I'm telling you, get a little bit of like a smoky character from some oak aging, because I'm telling you, I've had some women, like 3 women actually come in and taste the meat that we aged on some like heavy plus toast French oak, And all three of them said the same thing, that they kind of get a little bacon out of it. I said, then I kind of refined their thoughts and asked if they're just getting smokiness. And they said, oh, yeah, that's what it is. But, subconsciously that could work.
It could.
And kind of like a little smoked product or something that's going to give you a little smokiness in the background.
Yeah, smokiness would be good with that. That would make sense. When you started saying toasted, and I'm thinking, yeah, aged on toast. BLTs, so we need a little mayonnaise, a little tomato, a little lettuce in there, and it's all good, man. Yeah, BLT.
Yeah, coming out next month from Melovino, Eggs Benedict mead.
No. BLTs are much better than Eggs Benedict.
I don't know where you're from, man. I love some Eggs Benedict.
Yeah, my husband's a big fan of Eggs Benedict. I'm indifferent. I'm an omelet kind of girl when it comes to my eggs. So.
Well, there's so much window of opportunity when it comes to making mead. That's kind of what I've always loved about it. And, I'm always into just getting like a 750 milliliter bottle or a 1 gallon jug and just like experimenting with different types of ingredients and fusing it like into a finished mead just to at least get an idea of what kind of character that new experimental ingredient might give to a mead, to get kind of gauge with, can we do something with this, So there's always room for playing around. I've aged the mead on an orange blossom mead on marshmallows, and it was actually pretty nice.
Marshmallows?
Yeah, just throw them on some marshmallows. With a vanilla bean, I made a 2.5 gallon batch of that, and it's pretty nice.
Thank you for adding another to my to-brew list.
Well, here's the thing. If you have some finished mead, right, just throw it into a 1 gallon jug and, experiment with it. Experiment with the new ingredient. From 1 5 gallon carboy, you could get 5 new, experimentals.
Yeah, that's what, Pete says that all the time. He says if you're going to make one batch, make 5 batches and, and play. See what you can do.
Until I run out of space.
Well, there's that, yeah. Doug is saying that mead would be a great story for the Big Bang Theory, that we should get mead on the Big Bang Theory. I was like, yeah, because, most mead makers are nerds. So.
Yeah.
Nerds of a feather.
Yeah,
Chris is
a lot of room for experimenting.
There's JD. I was beginning to think he was taking a nap.
No, actually, I was going through a folder of photographs that I took a couple of days ago. But Chris from Mississippi just texted me. He's drinking Schramm's The Statement Cherry Mellow.
Ooh, we got a bottle of The Statement.
Chris, Mississippi Chris, why don't you give us a holler and tell us all about it, bud? If you're not neck deep in somebody's chest.
Well, but he's drinking mead.
Probably not neck deep in somebody's chest, then.
Doug says Ghostbusters Marshmallow Man mead. If somebody asks you if you're a god, say yes.
I'm doing that to a beer, damn it.
That's so funny. So yeah, marshmallow meat. Because then we need meadow foam honey.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Just add the marshmallows.
Probably way cheaper than meadow foam honey.
Oh God, yeah. For what meadow foam honey goes for these days?
Way cheaper than meadow foam honey. That's for sure.
I take it you looked at it.
Oh yeah. Oh, even just during my homebrew days, I made meadow foam traditional and paid enough on that.
Yeah, but, I don't know what. Excuse me, I don't know what it's going for. Bulk rates, what they're getting for it if you buy, a barrel of it or whatever. If you can even buy a barrel of it, I don't know.
Well, the price definitely drops. I mean, on the commercial scale, you're still looking for most honey varietals, like your average, clover, wildflower, orange blossom, alfalfa. I mean, you're looking at like the $2.35 range, I would say, per pound. But
That's not too bad. So, Tysen and Alan, what do you guys got coming down the pike for the show? What's going on?
This Thursday, we're recording a semi-competition-like session mead tasting.
Oh, nice.
Well, I guess that's this Saturday. We're doing audio testing this Thursday, so we're going to be trying to recreate the session mead sweep that Nectar Creek did at the Mazer Cup last year.
Nice.
Trying a couple of their meads. I don't actually know what we're going to get through that day. We'll actually have Sean from Mobius Meadery and Andrew from Charm City Meadworks there with us doing the tasting, and then like 6 guys on the West Coast doing the tasting as well. So we'll see how audio comes up. Other than that, it's kind of an open book at this point.
Okay, cool.
Let me know whenever you want me to come back on to talk to you guys for 6 hours for a 40-minute episode. I'm down.
that was.
I know, that's what we did, too.
I didn't have to go to work because
I got a 2-parter out of that. We did the same thing, and we're like on the phone forever, and then it was like, oh, we broke it into 2 parts. I'm like, good idea.
Yeah. Which,
nobody wants to listen to me for that long.
I do not mind, because it's not often you get to talk to other people that are into mead. So
yeah,
we'll make that work.
Chris from Mississippi has joined us tonight. He's obviously put his patient on bypass and has joined our live show.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
What's up? Yeah, I'm about to be neck deep, but it's not going to be in a patient. I've got raspberries. I've got a juice.
What do you use to juice your raspberries?
I'm getting my batch of the Heart Murmur ready for next year's Mazer Cup.
What are you
in the fermenter?
What are you using to juice your raspberries?
Oh, I'm doing it the old-fashioned way.
Tater masher.
Yeah, through a strainer bag. I put it in the blender, blend them up, and then put it in the strainer bag.
I've heard that putting them in a blender is a bad thing because it actually destroys the seed, which adds a lot of bitterness.
Oh,
no, it breaks up the seeds and adds a lot of tannin. Yeah.
What I've done is taken the raspberries and I've actually put them through my tomato press with the fine sieve on it. It takes the seeds out completely and just leaves me with the pulp and the juice.
I kind of cheated the last time I did one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a weed whacker blade, and it won't chop the seeds up.
Oh, so it's like the plastic blade in a food processor.
Oh, okay. I would recommend freeze and thaw them first. You'll get a lot more juice out of them.
That's what I always freeze mine.
They've been frozen and thawed, and so they're going to get juice tonight. Then the pulp's going in with some Lalazyme to get the last bit out, color extraction, and sulfide them tonight, and everything's going in the fermenter tomorrow.
Nice.
Cool.
Chris,
what is this, version 12? Is this version 12? How many versions have you went through for that recipe?
This is version number 4. The biggest problem has been just getting the right ratio of juices and trying to get it to balance out. I kept going way too heavy on the black currant.
That's easy to do. They're powerful.
Well, we had that conversation a while back where we were trying to figure out where that, because Chris was telling me all the different variations he's done and trying to figure out the right amount of black currants. Because you're right, Sergio, those little suckers are strong. Chris, Doug's asking, do you do herniated discs too? Because he's LOLing because he says he's on the mend and doesn't need surgery, but was just asking.
That's another need he's working on, I think. Yeah.
I feel your pain because I'm on the verge of having a L5. So.
Oh dear.
Yeah, not fun.
L4 and L5 actually, but. I know how he feels.
Well, JD tells me that we need to break into a round of commercials. So hang on tight, guys, and we'll be back here in just a minute.
And that's how it's done.
I am just tell Vicky.
This is J.D. Webb for Gotmead Live. You know, winemaking was a way of life for Sergio Motello while growing up. As an adult, his winemaking led to brewing beer and ultimately his discovery and passion for mead. Today at Melovino, his mead-making skills has earned him countless awards. His signature meads include Pepino, a light and refreshing cucumber, orange, and lemon session mead, and Sinfonia, called the Scotch of Meads, is made with 3 honey varietals and a blend of 3 different oaks. Visit them in Vauxhall, New Jersey at 2933 Vauxhall Road, located in the rear of the Millburn Mall. And be sure and visit them online at melovino.com. Shipping to 22 states, try some Melovino mead yourself and book a tour and tasting. Melovino, a truly unique and exquisite craft mead experience. Besides being the county seat of Cass County, it's also the home of Prairie Rose Meadery, the only meadery in North Dakota. Owned and operated by Susan and Bob Rood, they produce 5 amazing meads with a 6th on the way, all available in their tasting room. From bees to bottles, the Prairie Rose Tasting Room is located at 3101 39th Street South, Suite E in Fargo, North Dakota, and features their award-winning traditional and blackberry meads. Other amazing flavors available include ginger, mint, cherry, and an upcoming star anise mead. Tasting room hours are Thursday through Friday, 5 to 10 p.m., Saturday from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 6 p.m. Make Prairie Rose Meadery a must-do when you're in Fargo, North Dakota. Visit them online at prairierosemeadery.com or stop by at 3101 39th Street South, Suite E in Fargo, North Dakota. Prairie Rose Meadery, a delightful mead experience. Schramm's Mead crafts some of the most coveted meads available in the United States today. The Tasting Room at 327 West 9 Mile Road in Ferndale, Michigan features Schramm's Mead in bottles and special release meads on tap. SchrammsMead.com. If you think you don't like mead, you haven't had a Schramm's. Uncompromisingly delicious mead since 2013. HomebrewTalk.com, your absolute everything resource for brewing beer at home. Their forum covers recipes, brewing equipment, and help from member brewers. If you picked up your equipment today, you can start brewing tonight with everything you need to know at HomebrewTalk.com. Sign up today for as little as $4 a month and become a... You're back. Go ahead.
Yay, we're back. So, as we were saying before we had that nice little commercial break, what's going on? We got Chris back on version number 4 of the Heart Murmur, which is Chris's tribute to the Heart of Darkness, arguably the most, sorry, Sergio, most popular mead on the planet right now.
No, by far. I don't mind.
Yeah. But yeah, it's certainly one of the most well-known, just because it is. And so where'd you end up? If you're willing to disclose any of your great secrets, Chris, where did you end up going with that? Because we talked about the dang it, my mind is throwing up cranberry, and it's not cranberry.
Black currant.
Thank you, black currant. Sorry, the brain and everything else isn't working in sync. So the black currant's so strong. So where'd you end up going with that?
Well, I knocked it down to about 10% of the juice. So what I did was start out with just making a stock juice blend and trying to figure out the percentages of each thing. And I knew that the cherry was going to be out in front. So I think my first attempt was like 50% cherry and 30% raspberry, 20% black currant, and it didn't work. It was way too much black currant. So I kind of shuffled that around a couple of times, made some small batches, and so I finally ended up now with this one. I'm down at less than 10%. So
okay.
Have you considered a replacement like pomegranate to replace the black currant, or are you going by what a specific recipe?
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay true to what Ken's been doing and get as close as I can without having ever tasted it, which is kind of another thing. If I pull it off, I'll be a legend. Because
yeah, you really will be.
Without ever having tasted it.
Well, you got to hold a bottle of the statement. I take it he was stocked out on Heart of Darkness.
Yeah, he was out on that, but I did get the statement. I've been and one thing that I was really impressed with was the fact that the meads that I've been making were really close to the statement, and it was the first time I'd ever had that also. And when I made my cherry, I did it the same way I did, or that I'm doing the Heart of Darkness. I basically just read all the reviews I could, all the tasting notes from people, and formed an opinion in my mind of what this should be. And so it turns out that the ones I had been making were pretty well on the money. So I said, well, hey, if I nail that one, hopefully I'll nail this one too. But I'm not under the impression that it's going to be as good. I don't have fresh fruit to work with, or 20 years experience doing it. But,
and not just fresh fruit, but homegrown fruit. Because
those
meads, he's
curated fruit, basically,
homegrown, hand harvested,
and
processed,
lovingly raised,
and made entirely from free run juice.
Yeah. And just as a quick sidebar for anybody out there who may have been living under a rock for the last 20 years and is going, Heart of Darkness, the statement, what are they talking about? These are meads made by Ken Schramm, the author of The Complete Mead Maker. If you haven't got the book and you're making mead, then you really need to run right now to Amazon and order the book. And he is also owner of Schramm's Mead, and The Statement and The Heart of Darkness are two of his productions. So sidebar over. Now we're back.
Yep. So the first thing I did when I opened the statement was to pour some in my hydrometer and take a reading and
and a taste, of course, and maybe just a little taste.
Yeah, and so kind of analyzing it, but I mean it's all free run juice. It's homegrown, hand harvested, and the whole 9 yards. I don't have all that, and I'm not attempting to do that. My whole purpose of doing this was the fact that I can't get it here where I live, and I know that a lot of people would like to try it or something similar to it. So let's come up with a recipe that gives Ken all the credit and pays tribute to what he's done, but let's do it in a way that everybody can do it, that you can do it with available juices, and you just have to know from the outset that this is not going to be as good, but it's similar. So.
That was Vicky's phone, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. I clicked the button I shouldn't have. Sorry.
Who were you dialing?
How you go about it?
I was going to put something on Twitter, and I've got like side by side Twitter and Skype feeds, and I accidentally, I don't know what I was thinking, clicked over on the picture thing on Skype and almost called Doug. Hi, Doug, in Amsterdam. So it's like started ringing, came up video. I'm like, sorry about that.
Yeah, but what I was saying, he getting like $100 a bottle for a $3.75 for the Heart of Darkness. I can easily see. Well, in fact, I don't know how he does it, because even doing it the home cheap way, like I'm doing it, I'm still going to be in. I'm ashamed to say how much I'm going to be in on this batch. It's going to be $100 a gallon mead made at home. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know what the profit margin is on the Heart, but it's funny because he's got another mead called The Statement, but really the Heart of Darkness is his statement.
Well, he has a Statement Reserve as well as just the Statement. So I think the Reserve is the one from his homegrown fruits. The Statement is not actually homegrown.
Yeah, no, yeah. But I mean, the Heart of Darkness is what I meant is kind of Ken's statement on mead. I mean, that was his signature mead, if you will. And so I don't know if it's so much about the profitability as that the Heart has become iconic in the industry. And it's
another reason that I've been, that I'm doing this is because that when I first started making mead, the first person I heard about was Ken Schramm.
Oh yeah.
And so that was along the lines of what I wanted to do. That was who I tried to emulate. When I, right after that, I found out about Kurt Stock, and Kurt Stock makes similar meads. He uses lots of tart fruit. Almost everything he makes is a melomel, in the same style that Ken does. And then, it was something that suited my taste. Had I been a beer person, I might have gone with someone like Meadmakrs and tried to emulate what they do, because they're, lower alcohol, carbonated. But I just found someone that was making mead in the style that appealed to me. And so that's what I did. And I said, well, if I'm going to pay tribute to them, let's take their most famous mead and let's find out a way we can make something similar at home. And I hope Ken doesn't get mad at it.
I don't think he will. Ken is an amazing person, and he will see that it is a tribute. He gets that.
And that's what it's meant to be. I'm not trying to rip off his recipe or anything. I just want to, if I can't get it here and it's not produced in quantities where a lot of people can get it, then hey, let's come up with the next best thing. So.
Well, they do say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and he'll probably take it that way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Well, I'll send him a bottle, and maybe it'll make him feel better.
Yeah.
I can't wait for somebody to copy one of my recipes.
It'll happen.
I've actually had a couple of people copy some of mine.
Yeah?
Yeah. Sergio, it's probably already happening, and you just didn't know.
Yeah, probably. I get a lot of Meadmakrs asking a lot of technical questions.
I'm just gonna say, yeah, and you are one of those. You are one of those pros that is willing to talk turkey with the home Meadmakrs. There's not a lot of that going on, and that, just in case you don't know, that's really appreciated. You get a lot of positive kudos about the fact that when somebody asks a question, you actually are. Like Michael Fairbrother, Ken Schramm, some of the pros that are out there that are stepping up and saying, hey, yeah, let us show you what we're doing. And while you're not giving away, look at Golden Coast. Shoot, they're dumping their entire sour archives that I've got to get up on Gotmead. Probably I'm going to start working on next week.
Of the non-carbonated meads that I have had, Tysen, Sergio's cucumber mead is a perfect mead served ice cold with a great tuna sandwich.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Cucumber mead and tuna.
You're talking to the wrong guy because Tyson's vegetarian.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Don't you know this by now? Come on.
Take the lettuce out, take the tuna out, throw the lettuce and tomato in, and eat it that way. Either way. The cucumber mead on a hot day with a nice sandwich would be tops.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Well, he's got to have some. If I go to Melovino and they don't have any to buy, how am I going to drink it?
Make it.
Well, come by this summer. We're re-releasing it this summer.
Are you? Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's going to be our summer seasonal. Yeah.
Drop me a ping when you do, dude. I'll order a case of it and see if I can't swing up there to pick it up. I'm overdue for another visit anyway. So,
what kind of sandwiches do you serve in your tasting room to go along with that cucumber mead?
Oh, nothing. We don't serve any food actually.
Wow.
No, the state of New Jersey does not allow us or breweries to sell or serve any food on the premise.
Wow.
Okay.
Sergio, I am using your Tysen on this batch. So.
I would contract with a food truck to sit out in front of my tasting room.
Also cannot do that.
Oh, my God.
Also cannot do that.
You know what, Sergio? You got to move.
This is what we're dealing with. The Restaurant Association in New Jersey wants to protect their investments and how much money, the hundreds of thousands of dollars they paid for their liquor licenses in order to sell food and serve alcohol. So if they feel threatened by breweries opening up all over the place and making alcohol, running a tap room, and also being able to serve food without having to spend the money that they did on buying their liquor licenses.
Because a winemaking license is nothing.
But liquor licenses are like gold, you know.
Wineries in New Jersey are able to sell food for whatever reason, but whatever. We won't get into that.
Yeah.
But
okay.
You were saying something, Chris?
Oh, I said you're actually going to have a part in this because I'm using your Tasna on this batch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm one of those weird, very few people who can actually taste the DAP, and I started getting away from DAP when I heard that Michael Fairbrother had done the same, but he was using Fermented K, and I went that route for a while, and then I found out about your Tasna, and tried it out on a traditional, and it worked out great. So that's the route I'm going with this batch. So
yeah,
you will have a part in it.
DAP and Fermented K, but it's definitely a lot less than just using DAP straight up.
Yeah. There's not enough. I can't taste the DAP in Fermented K. It's below what I can taste. But if I do put DAP in, like, if I put 3 grams in up front, I'll taste it. So.
Which is weird because you'd think the yeast would have eaten it all.
Well, it does something. I don't know what it does. I can taste it. And I'm just one of those, I guess I'm one of the weird few people who can, but it does something to the flavor.
Yeast won't assimilate DAP after 9% ABV. So if you start adding it, it's roughly 9%, somewhere around there. So if you're adding DAP and heat in the ferment, you will have off flavors naturally from it.
Yeah, Scott Labs told me it's like around between like your 10 to 12 bricks level that they won't assimilate anymore after that. Any nutrient you add after that point won't really make a difference.
Right. I mean, it makes sense. The yeast basically go through all their aerobic phase. Once they get into anaerobic and are just spitting out alcohol and CO2, they're not really consuming that many yeast or that many nutrients anymore.
They need the nutrients while they're replicating, right?
Right.
So once they're done replicating, then they don't need the nutrients.
Mm-hmm.
Except for C212, which is a stink pot if you don't give it lots of nutrients the whole way through.
Yeah, the first time I tried the Tasna, I was a little bit hesitant because I had always added my first edition at the end of lag phase, and with Tasna, you only add the first edition 24 hours later after pitch. So I was a little worried that, but then I realized, well, there's enough Go Firm there to carry them through, to that first edition. So I tried it and it worked. So I said, well, I'm not going to question it anymore because, why question something that's working? If it's working, it's working.
So, Sergey, are you still going?
Go ahead.
Are you still going with the full amount of nutrient up through like 350, 400 parts per million Yan, or have you adjusted?
I adjusted. I'm basically on traditional meads. I've adjusted about 40 parts per million less on traditional meads after taking some Yan measurements on different traditional mead musts that we made here. Okay. Only because that's what I kind of found, like 30 to 40 parts per million of nitrogen in most mead musts of just traditional meads. So I subtracted that from the total that we're adding, but little by little, there is a thread going on the Gotmead forums right now, which Vicky, heads up, they've already suggested that it become a sticky.
Okay.
But
I'll go track it down and sticky it.
Yeah, I kind of explained that little by little. I think I've been trying to experiment with the whole Tasna regimen because, in my opinion, Scott Labs says that it's the equivalent of 50 parts per million that the Fermento provides. But I kind of have a feeling, and that's effectiveness, and that's the key word that's kind of having like a lot of conversation around on that thread. The effectiveness of how much nitrogen it actually offers. There's a big difference between how much nitrogen it actually provides on paper and the effectiveness of how much nitrogen it actually provides. But little by little, I've kind of been noticing that, you know what, I think we would be just fine if we added even a little less. So I'm actually thinking the effectiveness term that I'm using for that, and that Scott Labs was using for Fermado, is probably a lot more than just the 5 times more than what it is on paper.
Right,
so little by little, I'm going to be experimenting with a little less here and there. On a commercial scale, it's a little harder to do because I don't want to screw up a batch and have something stall out or have any off flavors or aromas. But little by little, I've been kind of like playing around with it and seeing and taking notes, and I'm going to end up comparing everything once I have enough data to kind of look back and forth on.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it's upwards of like 3 to 4 times that amount in the effectiveness of the yan. Like up to like 160 parts.
Only 5 times.
What you're getting?
Yeah.
5 times 50 is 250 parts per million.
You can compare it sort of to a simple carb and a complex carb.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you eat a Snickers bar, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel the energy kick. You know you got it, but it's going to run out fairly quickly. If you eat a bowl of brown rice, you don't feel it hit you as hard, but it'll sustain you longer. So the effectiveness of that is, I think it's sort of the same thing.
We've got Michael Fairbrother is listening in now, and he says regarding the fermentation stuff we were talking about, it's an increase YANC by 50 milligrams. Michael, what is that?
Per liter.
Per gram per liter, thank you, every 2 bricks.
50 parts per million per gram per liter.
Yeah,
on paper, they say it only provides 10 parts per million, but the effectiveness is as if you were adding 50 parts per million. Yeah. But I do feel like it actually has an effectiveness of a higher number than that, and that's kind of what I've been playing around with.
Yeah. So Serge, part of, if you listen to our episode yesterday, we talked a lot about the advanced nutrient calculator we have on Meadmakrs. And one of the biggest things that came up is the Fermate-O effectiveness, and trying to explain that is very difficult because what we have in the calculator is that Fermate-O is 40 parts per million per milligram per liter, but you can have a Fermate-O effectiveness of up 50. To... Well, right. So I was going off of work from Travis Blunt Elliott, who's on the Reddit forums, and he was quoting up to like 4 times that. If you're using Fermate-O, it becomes significantly effective. So we're talking 160 parts per million yan, significantly more than what we're saying, just 50 parts per million yan. It becomes important when we're talking about leftover nutrients that other bacteria can use. Mm-hmm. We don't want to promote lactobacillus or pediococcus or any other bacteria or any yeast that aren't the yeast we want to ferment. So having leftover nutrients, if we can find the balance where we have the right amount of nutrient just for the yeast, we minimize the ability to spoil over the long run when we're storing for a year or 2 years.
Now, the question comes into play too. Now, when you're talking about mead, if you're talking only traditional meads, now I think that's an endpoint that we could reach. But when you're talking about fruit meads, any kind of fruit additions that you're fermenting, that throws a whole other curveball into the picture because you're getting a lot of nitrogen from the fruits that. Right. I mean, it's always going to vary, even if you use the same fruits all the time.
Mm-hmm. It's the reason you bought a yan measurement tool.
Exactly, yeah. But your average home brewer is not going to spend the $400 to $500 for one of those meters. You know what I mean? So, but as far as I've been taking yan measurements for different mead musts of different honeys, and that's kind of what I've been trying to use to see how much less we can use. So all those TASNA calculations are basically based upon assuming 0 nitrogen from the honey, which is not technically the case. And that's why I kind of want to refine it a little bit. So I've been taking a bunch of nitrogen readings and trying to determine, okay, what is going to be the average for like a traditional mead with different honeys. I might actually eventually just post up, okay, this is what I got from, this starting bricks of using wildflower honey from Dutch Gold, and this is what I got from using their orange blossom honey. This is what I got with their clover, so on and so forth. So that way there's at least some kind of a benchmark, even though not all honey is going to be the same, take the same reading, but overall the scope might be within an agreeable average to be able to base everything off of. So right off the bat, I mean, without having any updates made on the Meadmakrs site right now, or anywhere else that Tysen's posted on, but as of right now, you can definitely assume for a traditional mead that you could subtract at least 30 to 40 parts per million of the nitrogen that is required based on the calculations for Tysen. That's what I've kind of like found that's like a safe number to work off of. So you could add a little bit less, but I still think you could add even less than that, though, because I'm telling you, I think it definitely is more effective than just the 50 parts per million the Scott Lab says it provides.
Okay.
So, Sergio, this batch that I'm doing is made entirely with fruit juice and honey. So, and I'm starting out with a ridiculously high, it's like 36 point something bricks. I calculated it at 550 parts per million based on the chart you have. So, which
you could easily cut it in half. You could easily cut it in half.
Juice,
that much fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cut that in half, which comes out to 33 grams total of ferment oat for a 6-gallon batch. I've added a disclaimer on the Meadmakrs site that this is particularly just for the calculations are based off of basically working off of traditional meads. Yeah, once you start fermenting fruit along with the honey, then you're going to get a lot more nitrogen.
Everything changes.
Would you go lower than that?
I'm sorry?
Would you go lower than that? 33 grams in a 6-gallon?
For melomels, no matter what, because I only just started taking all these Yan readings, but for every melomel, it's also going to be completely different, depending on the fruit or a combination of fruits and proportions of how much fruit goes into each batch. It's so hard to really pinpoint how much, to get an average number that a certain fruit product, whether it's fresh fruit, frozen fruit, fruit juice concentrate, it's going to be almost impossible to kind of determine how much nitrogen rather you're really adding in, other than just adding it for that particular recipe and taking an actual Yan reading and knowing that's how much nitrogen you added with those fruit additions for just that particular recipe. That's the only thing you can really discern for the truth. But as far as melomels go, you could easily do the Tysen calculations and actually cut it in half, add half of the calculated amount.
Yeah, that's what I did. So that gave me 33 grams. So that's what I'm going to be going with here.
Yeah, that was always the rule of thumb that I've always used. Traditionals, I go that 100% based on those calculations. Any melomel and any melomel that I make, I normally always ferment the fruit along with the honey. For the melomels, my rule of thumb was I always just cut it in half, even though I'm sure you could probably do much less than that. But that was always my rule of thumb, and I'm fermenting 14% in like 9 to 10 days.
Hey, so, Sergio.
If you broke, don't fix it, basically.
Yeah. Fairbrother said on Facebook, I put up a post that we were talking about him and Ken and other people. And he says the Hannah is quoting them $700 for a meter. And then also asks, has anyone done Yan sea level measurements for different fruits? Which is an interesting question.
Yeah, I've tried to find some kind of numbers online as to an average amount of nitrogen, that certain fruits provide. But again, then you're also talking about, again, are you using fresh fruits? Are you using fruit juices? Are you using fruit juice concentrate? It's going to end up being all over the board. I still haven't taken enough readings. Well, put it this way. I've taken readings of my melomel batches per recipe, so I could tell you how much of, how many kind of juices go into this one recipe provides as far as nitrogen compared to if it was just honey and water. But again, it's always going to vary from recipe to recipe. But it's going to be really hard to determine that, because even on a commercial scale, you're getting fruit juice concentrates or fruit juices from, different suppliers here and there. I buy blackcurrant concentrate from one supplier. I buy, different concentrates from another, and so on and so forth. So, and it's always going to depend, even when you're talking about fresh fruit.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that I've been wanting to do with the Gotmead calculator. And I've talked to Tysen and Alan periodically about this. And I talked to Pete about this the other day. I want to try to put together a suite of calculators that can be on the websites, but also put into an app. And one of the things that I've been looking at is, how do you figure out the sugar content, the various aspects of fruit that need to be considered when you're making a mead? And then, like you're saying, it can be different. Is it whole fruit? Is it juice? Is it puree? Yeah. And then, it's also, and it's not just that. Okay, if you're like taking, say, for peaches, just saying, there's like 80 gazillion varieties of peaches.
Exactly,
and varying levels of sugar. And if you take, peach, ABC variety peach, and you grow it in Georgia, it's going to have one level of sugar. You take the same exact variety of peach and you grow it in Michigan, different sugar levels, so it's kind of a losing proposition, because there's no way to pin it down and say this kind of fruit has that amount of sugar. Yeah.
That's a lifetime's work. And then sugar is one thing, but then the nitrogen that each individual fruit and variation of each fruit is always going to be different as well. I mean, that's the tough thing, I think. Yeah. So when it all comes down to it, if you really, really want to understand how much nitrogen you have to start with to determine exactly how much nutrients to add, the only correct answer as of right now is either buy a meter to measure the formal,
and those are $700 according to Fairbrothers.
Yeah, it is. I paid for it. I know. It's a lot of money, but you know what? Information is the most valuable asset in this world, and
and pro level,
it's definitely worth the money.
Us civilian types, aren't going to drop that kind of cash. Oh, and Fairbrother also points out that different yeasts also work better with lower Yanc levels as well. So he's popping up comments on Facebook. So
so this conversation gets really interesting when you talk about that. I was just having a conversation on the Gotmead forums last week too. That's another thing that I'm kind of trying to work with. And I've even spoken to Scott Labs, and they kind of don't really have anything to give me as far as that goes too, because, I try to basically bring it up in conversation to Scott Labs about, all right, so if by the textbook, if we need 350 parts per million of nitrogen for this, for a recipe that starts at, 27 bricks, what if we're using a low nitrogen required yeast? Is there a number that you could give me that I can subtract off of that total based upon if that yeast strain requires a low, medium, or high nitrogen requirement? And they don't have those kind of numbers, that kind of data to kind of give out. But one of them, the best answer I got was, subtract 100 and see how that works.
Well, and here's another. This is another thing.
And that's what's going to end up happening, though.
I don't know if you're watching your Facebook notes, Sergio, but Zeb Johnston just popped up and asked, "Would you be interested in having some regression analysis done on your data points? That would give a calculated model showing how much different fruit and honeys contribute yan to a must." And it would definitely help speed up the quote-unquote lifetime of work. He says, I have the programs and knowledge to run a proper data analysis. Crap, I would say on that one.
What? Wait, hold on, I got lost with that. As far as doing what?
Okay, he's apparently a data analyst, but
he's talking data scientist stuff. So I just went through a class last week for work because I do the same.
Oh, okay, cool. Then you pick it up and go.
We got somebody on air. Get Zeb to call in. So essentially, they're talking about being able to actually analyze a large data set of every known data point we have concerning the yan measurement and the amount of fruit used, and then from that you can back calculate how much yan there is, and if we can build it on 100 different measurements or 100 different recipes across the board. So if Michael Fairbrother gets his yank meter and you have yours, and then Frank Golbeck throws his in the loop, and then maybe Ken Schramm throws in, and you can start building this gigantic database. You can start to build this database of all of the information we have, and we can start building accurate calculators based on the information that's put in today.
Yeah, but again, it's always going to vary. I mean,
it does vary year to year, but you can start looking at the standard deviation and the variance of that measurement from year to year. So there are ways to calculate in how much the variance shows up.
Yeah.
You would hope that it is decreasing as you increase your population set. So we're going back to statistics and like the number that you would need to represent a normal population or a Raelian or all sorts of different statistical measures and what the distribution looks like over time.
Yeah. Here's also a little something that might help the home mead makers. If you have a particular recipe that you do often and you want to figure out how much yan you're starting with, send me a vial or something of that must, along with a good bottle of something that you made at home. That'll help pay for the materials that I'm actually using during calibration to the actual testing.
Free mead, yeah, I will work for mead. I love this. Even the pros will work for mead.
Yeah, send me a 12-ounce bottle or something, and I'll take the reading for you. I'll run the test at Melovino, and I'll email you the results. That way, I mean, I only make so much mead. Every meadery only makes so much mead, and again, it's also tough because unless you're really also only making, I guess we could test the ingredient individually. Obviously, we could do that, but especially on the commercial mead making scene, if you're not using fresh fruits, you're using fruit juice. If you're not using juice, you're using concentrates.
Or purees,
every concentrate supply.
Hey, I will absolutely take you up on that offer. I will absolutely take you up on that.
That is the quickest turnaround time to getting a real number on something on a particular recipe. But you never know. The 10th anniversary of Gotmead Live, we might have some real good data to actually put out.
Yeah, well, we're going to hear more about that because JD just added Michael Fairbrother and Zeb Johnston to the conversation. So now it's going to get really interesting.
There you go.
Joe. Hey, everybody.
Zeb, Michael. Zeb, hang on, guys. Zeb, I think it might be coming from you. If you got the show playing in the background, you need to turn it down. We're getting a little bit of feedback.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, guys.
See, now it's a party. Now we're talking. We're talking
shop over mead, and that's what this is supposed to be about. Yeah, this is what we do at the competitions. For those of you out there who may not have been to the Mazer Cup, this is what happens at the parties.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I've got my notebook and pen right here. So.
Well, don't forget we record
Before I forget, I do want to get a professional mead maker roundtable going on at the Mazer Cup. I want a few key people at that round table drinking over some mead.
We have microphones there, Sergio, so we'll see what we can do.
Yeah,
we can dually host it and get it on Gotmead. It's no big deal.
Yeah, let's put it on the association's website too for the members to listen into.
Yeah, I was thinking about at the AMMA meeting actually recording so that you guys can host it somewhere. So those who don't dial into the AMMA meeting can also get audio later.
Yeah, I may hit you guys up for copies of that too that we could post on the syndication, so that we can give to JD to do his thing with.
We can make that work. We'll have at least 2 microphones and a mixer, so we'll see what happens.
Nice. That'll make it easier for me because JD's been after me to get more equipment, and I'm going, I've already got all this stuff. I'm going to take you.
I'm road tripping all the way out there, so assuming there's no giant blizzard between the East Coast and Colorado, we'll be okay.
Oh, you're road tripping? Yeah, we may have to talk about that offline because I'm currently grounded. I'm not allowed to fly because of the lung things that I've got going on. So if that's still the case, then I would be willing to.
I'm taking the family, so I don't have space in the car unless we.
No worries, never mind. I didn't realize the whole family.
Yeah, you want to stop every hour for a baby crying in the back? It'll be fun.
I was about to cancel my car rental real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's like, no, we'll just all go with Let's all go together.
I can't accommodate that. I don't have a bus, you know?
Yeah, well, then what we're talking about possibly doing is driving out if it comes down to that, because I'll be danged if I'm going to miss the Major Cup, but, you know.
Agreed.
Anyway, back to the subject at hand.
Back to fruits and nitrogen and
the important stuff. So Oh, Tysen, thank you for finally joining the Gotmead page. It took you long enough.
I saw it on the side and I was like, I'll just click that.
Mm-hmm. You should have clicked it a long time ago, but I'm just,
You should have asked me.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah, well, I put it out there that I had a page. Y'all weren't listening. Anyway, back to Yan and Yancy and meters and expensive things and data regression. Let's talk about that.
So one of the things that Meadmakrs can understand is that, this is Michael Fairbrother from Moonlight Meadery, is that, some yeast nutrient management is better than none, quite a bit so. So you can dial it in if you get the right meters and such. But, using trial and error, you can get a lot closer than you've ever been before. I mean, I still yet to acquire a meter. It's on my wish list, but, Santa didn't get me one this year, so it's still on the wish list. And, you can, we're not dialing into, 9 to 10 days like Sergio is, but, we're still at the, about a 3 months turnaround time from start to finish. And, for us commercially, that's still viable. And, I'm still having very excited dreams about getting it down to 9 to 10 days, but that's not happening for us yet.
For $700, you could fill up your tank 6-4 times a year.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes you're trying to make sure you pay your employees.
Like, I'm only paying $5 for a tank of gas, so I could fill up my tank a whole lot more than that. So, just saying.
Well, I just want to take the opportunity to thank both of you because, I've said before, I started making good mead once I had temperature control. I made better mead when I heard about Michael getting away from the DAP, and I started doing that. And then I really dialed it in when I got completely away from the DAP and just started using the Fermate O. So I owe both of you a lot for that. So thanks for the information, if nothing else.
When you send your sample in, you can send me 3 bottles then.
The price just went up.
Oh dear.
And don't forget,
I'm gonna have to
at the end of April.
Has meter will measure will work for mead.
Yeah, I'm going to have to rename this mead the Coast to Coast mead because I got Ken's inspiration up in Michigan, Michael up in the Northeast, and Sergio over on the East Coast, and then I've got, get ready for it, JD's Wildflower Honey from California.
Wait, you got to there has to be a heavenly chorus with that meat or with that honey. That's just, it has to. So,
Yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to even be able to take any credit at all for it. Maybe I can be the conductor. Yeah, I'll be the conductor.
Doug is over in the Netherlands going, how can I get 3 bottles from the Netherlands?
Listen, if you got a meter of some sort, if you got a useful meter of any kind, you can get 3 bottles.
There you go, Sergio. You're worldwide, man.
There you go. You can still take credit for the mead. You made it. Just like everybody takes credit for that Campbell's green bean casserole every Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right. No, that's
just not right.
That's just not right. Yeah, but it still shows up on the Thanksgiving table at our house every year.
With the cornflakes on top. Yeah.
No, I use those onion crunchy things.
Oh yeah,
fried onions.
Yeah. There you go, fried onions. Yeah.
Michael Fairbrother, I had a bottle of your fling last week, and it was amazing. It reminded me of my grandmother's rhubarb pie.
Yeah, that happens to be one of Vicky's favorites too.
Oh yeah, it's totally one of Vicky's favorites. Yeah, Vicky served that at her daughter's wedding party the night before the wedding because my son-in-law's very favorite flavor is strawberry rhubarb.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, so for me, when I think about mead making and how to go about it, I mean, Sergio's a rock star. He's certainly doing a lot to help the community, putting effort into it. Helping share the knowledge. And as I tell people all the time, if you want to get my knowledge, join the American Meadmakrs Association. I'll share everything I know, and it's because we're trying to build a community. We're trying to bring that game to the next level. And there's 2 board members on this call already, Vicky and Sergio, and we're all trying to put our energy and efforts behind the greater good of this, and this is why we're doing it. Yeah, and it goes to show too. I mean, there's plenty of the commercial guys out there that are more than willing to share the information, and it's kind of like all been starting to funnel through the association's website. And I think there's a lot of people going on there, either meaderies and planning, home mead makers, even existing new startup meaderies that are going on there and getting a wealth of information. Especially for the small amount of money that it costs to become a member. And it's like, I would have paid thousands of dollars for if there's such thing as like a mead consultant, when I was starting up to make sure that I started my meadery right, in the best way possible, most efficient way possible. The value of information on there is ridiculous. Yeah, we've hosted, potential or startup meadery makers to intern at our meadery, 2 or 3 times now, and we haven't thus far put a charge on it to charge them to learn what we're doing, but we've had some folks from Europe fly in to visit and work with us. We've had other meadery makers here in the United States. I've taught now twice at the UC Davis event. I see this as a long-term endeavor, and the more great mead makers there are in this country or world, the better that those of us that can make great mead will be. So it's not a question of that I'm worried about making success for just my own company. It helps to have other mead makers make better products.
Yeah, it does. And I've said it, if I've said it once, I've said it 50 times.
A million times.
A million times. A rising tide floats all boats. If we all pull together, we can get there. I had a conversation earlier today with Dara Nagel, who's owner of Falcon Mead in New Mexico. And Dara was saying that one of the things he's running into is how many people just don't know what mead is. And that's part of, and this is Vicky in my AMMA on the board hat. The AMMA is trying to do is to get that out there so people don't go meat, they know what you're talking about. When you say mead, they go, oh yeah, that's that thing, so
exactly.
Trying to get it out there and get it so that when you say mead, it's like when you say cider or beer, people get it.
And here's another example. It's in New Jersey. There's still no viable option to actually open a meadery. I'm essentially operating off of a hall pass issued by the director of the Alcohol and Beverage Control, and I helped draft the bill that's currently going through legislation to create an official meadery license. Some customers have asked me, why would you do that? You're basically essentially guaranteed, no competition in the state of New Jersey. And I said, well, that's not going to help mead overall. No. The more meaders that do open up, the better it is for the entire industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why the American Meadmakrs Association is trying to push forward legislation that, unlike the Cider Bill Act that helped the cider companies, and some of us make cider, like myself, I still want to see a mead cider act or a mead act that, benefits everybody. Yeah.
Well, it's not like by having somebody open a meadery next to you, you're going to be losing that much business, because there is so much variety within what we all call mead. There's so much variety that you can do so much without duplicating.
Here in
all that information that you give out, the information that you give out is not it's not any threat to anybody's business either, because even me as a home mead maker, I'm going to buy your products. If I could have all your recipes in a book and make them consistently at home, I'm still going to be buying your products because I'm going to, I buy mead.
Yeah.
So,
JD, we're going to be always innovating, right? So the recipes I may put in a book doesn't mean that's where I stop, right? I create recipes almost every day, it seems like, where I'm trying to think about, what am I trying to make? Sometimes it's by accident, like Ember, which is a blackberry chipotle mead. I meant to put the chipotles in the raspberry mead and put them in the wrong tank. So we got a new recipe.
Well, I'm working on one right now because I'm going to have a lot of black currant juice left over, and I'm thinking about black currants with some peppers, and I was going to call it In the Heat of the Night.
Oh,
and and it's going to be good because I can already taste it.
There's just so much. So currants tend to be very tart. So you're going to want some sweetness to hold up that tartness to balance out with the tart and the pepper. But
you're going to want that sweetness too to balance the heat anyway. Yeah. But
it's going to be but you can finish something like that so really sweet, but yet it doesn't come across as being sweet because there's so much tartness.
I've been trying to think of how to dialogue with people about that because, we're working on a book, but, there's like 3 variables that you can think about when making mead. So you have, your tartness level from any additions, whether it's the fruit, you have the sweetness level from the honey and whatnot. And if you're making it spiced, you have the spicing level. And all 3 of those are independent controls that really can change your enjoyment or profile of the mead that you're ending up with. So whether you want to
still have acidity, and you still have acidity and tannin as well.
True. So make that 4 or 5 around with. Yeah. So it's
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump in here and just tell you to hold that thought because we got a round of commercials that needs to roll. So give us like a minute and we'll be back in just a bit.
Located in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, Fallen Timber Meadery is named after this region of Alberta, Canada. The area is a hidden treasure characterized by the merger of ranch lands and untracked forests and home to stunning mountain views and Canadian wildlife. It is here where the Ryan family produces pure water-white clover honey and mead as pristine as the namesake Fallen Timber Creek. Inspired by the sublime landscape and the honey it awards, the Fallen Timber Meadery continues to pursue excellence in all of their meads. From classic traditional meads to innovative session meads and braggots, Fallen Timber Meadery is emerging from the wild with great Canadian mead. Visit us online at www.fallentimbermeadery.ca.
If you're a mead maker, you need Gotmead.com. It is the absolute best and most complete resource for mead making you will ever need. The forum consists of recipes, discussion on equipment, techniques, and methods, complete with its own batch calculator. Gotmead.com offers everything you need to start making mead today. And for just $25 a year, as a patron member, you'll have access to proven award-winning recipes, fermentation management, equipment discussion, and a whole lot more. Gotmead.com. Sign up today. If you're a mead maker, a book you need to have on the shelf is Mad About Mead by Pamela Spence. Look for it, grab it if you can. It's been out of print for a while, but if you can find it, add it to your library. And while you're at it, check out PamSpence.com. Pam is an active storyteller, author, community minister, and is the editor for local newspapers in Columbus, Ohio. You can find her most recent book, Glad Rags, Red Panties, Cowgirl Boots, and A Sweet Dress to Die For, at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Please visit PamSpence.com for more. Hey, this is J.D. Webb from Gotmead Live. You know, it's all about the mead here at Gotmead, and I have to tell you, I am in love with Fling from Moonlight Meadery. The way they balance the tartness from the rhubarb against the semi-sweet strawberry and orange blossom honey is just amazing. Do yourself a favor. Go buy some Moonlight Meadery meads now. Visit them at their online store at moonlightmeadery.com/store or ask for it where you shop. Demand it where you shop. Ask for Moonlight Meadery Meads. Growing up in a culture where home winemaking was a way of life, Sergio Mutella naturally began making wine himself as an adult, finding his way into brewing beer and eventually his discovery of mead. Earning numerous mead-making awards, Melovino opens its doors, becoming the first meadery in the Garden State. Featuring 20 different craft meads with amazing variety, Melovino is the fastest-growing meadery in the country. Melovino offers tastings and tours every weekend, and all of their meads are available online, shipping to 22 states across the country. Go to melovino.com and book your tour and tasting today. Located at 2933 Vauxhall Road near the rear of the Millburn Mall in Vauxhall, New Jersey. melovino.com. You're live.
And we're back with a whole gang of people. We've got Tysen and Ellen from the Meadmakrs. We've got Michael Fairbrother, owner of Moonlight Meadery up in the North Country. We have Sergio Mutella, the owner of the only meadery in New Jersey. We have, golly, who else did we just get join in?
Zeb, Chris.
We got Zeb Johnston. And Zeb, what's your meadery? I'm like drawing a blank.
Lion's Head, right? I get it right?
Yeah, Lion's Head. I saw some of your shirt.
Lion's Head. Yeah, I just had you on the show like 3 weeks. Yeah, I just had you on the show like 3 weeks ago. Sorry, it's late and I'm tired. And yeah, because I'm a dweeb. There we go. So we've got all kinds of fun stuff, and we're talking about fermentation techniques. We're talking about nitrogen assimilation. We're talking about aging. Just all kinds of fun stuff going on. So back to the fun, y'all. Go for it.
Oh, this is Michael from Moonlight Meadery. One of the things I was just talking about before the break was dialing in flavors and perspectives, and you've got, I'd say, maybe 5 different dials, or 4 or 5, whatever the number may be, to get the perfect flavor. And one of the meads I was judging this past weekend by Scott Shar at the Dormus Cup was a pineapple chipotle mead. And, when I was judging it, I gave it a 50. And I was like, there's nothing better that you could do to this mead to make it even completely better. And when I saw it get to the best of show table, I knew I'd judge it, and I didn't want to have to try to persuade or argue the table. I wanted to let the mead showcase itself. And when we got down to the top 4 left in the table, or maybe top 5, there was, we wanted to do a polling of what was number 1 among the group. And this pineapple chipotle mead came in first among everybody that voted. So when you can dial in your spice level, your sweetness level, and your acidity level, you've got it. And it doesn't need somebody to say, oh, okay, that's great. It's great among itself. And that's the key piece. And Scott's a big proponent of, staggered nutrients and making sure that, he's got balance of flavors and perspectives. And that's the key piece to take away from all this stuff, is learn how to taste and smell your meats to understand what makes something great. And, you don't need my opinion on it. And, you need to be able to think for yourself that you make great meat, and you will make great meat. And if it doesn't win, hold out. Keep trying.
Yeah, and you don't need a meter. Is that a homemade meat? No meter is going to help you with that either. No meter is going to taste and judge that meat that you made for you either. You got to be able to taste and balance all those different parts.
And even as you were saying before, doing something is better than doing nothing.
And there are meat makers that are hitting this mark time and time again. I mean, John from and Scott and several others across the country, they enter mead competitions time and time again, and their names are always up to the top of the list. I can't say enough that enter mead for your die and give your best mead a shot, or the Mazer Cup or the Dormus Cup. These are all really well run competitions.
Mm-hmm. There's another homebrew competition that has a lot of certified mead judges in New York. Homebrew Alley. They got some top notch mead makers and mead judges in that competition as well.
That's another one that, I mean, it's not a mead only competition, but the judges and the feedback that you get from that competition from meads, it's definitely worthwhile entering that as well.
Yeah, it was 3 years ago today that I judged my first homebrew rally, and I second what Sergio was saying. That it's a great competition, great folks.
Was that pineapple that you judged, was that a homebrew or was that a commercial?
Homebrewed.
Homebrewed?
And you can really make some incredible meads when you're working with, peppers and spice and, fruit. You just have so much opportunities to really kind of create something unique. And, that the flavor combination of honey and spices just really work in competitions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and on the home mead making scene, take advantage of it, because all I got to say, on a 5-gallon batch scale, I mean, sky's the limit. You get to, and Michael could probably attest to this as well. Once you get to like a larger scale, you're like, holy shit, how am I going to dice up that much pineapple? How am I going to do this at that kind of a scale too? It becomes a lot more challenging.
Yeah, because I'm juicing 40 pounds of raspberries tonight, so even that is
I'm going to leave a review on Cuisinart's website on the food processor that I ran 150 pounds of ginger through. Because on a homebrew scale, that would have been about a little under 5 pounds of ginger. And it's take advantage of the homebrew side, because I mean the sky is really the limit. Nothing's should be able to hold you back from what you put together.
Yeah, and at a commercial scale for us, we're using about 4,000 pounds of blueberries that we freeze for our wild mead, which is 4 pounds of blueberries per gallon. That's a ton of blueberries. Well, 2 tons. Blueberries.
That's a pain in the ass. Yeah. Are you putting those in bags, or are you just dumping them all into the tank?
We're dumping them into the tank. And
you have man-weight doors on your tank stuff?
No. Pushing it down.
How are you getting all those blueberries out?
We got it's like a doorway, so we muck them out of the bottom.
Okay.
So I've got a technical question for you guys, and you both can answer. When we all know as homebrewers, at least, that it's hard to predict when a yeast is going to stop. Sometimes they'll go another 10 points. Sometimes they stop short a little bit. But I know Michael for sure has I think I've heard you say you had a sterile filter. Is that correct?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, well, that solves that problem for you. But without a sterile filter, if you were looking at a commercial scale, and you got to label your bottles, and you want to consistently do 12%, or you want to consistently do 14%, and you know that you need a certain level of sweetness that you got to stop at. Is sterile filtration the only commercial answer to that, or is there some other way of going about that?
So you could use sulfites and sorbates to stop this fermentation. The other option you have, which is a little more risky, which is knowing that your yeast can only go so high and making a sweet enough mead that the yeast will stop fermenting. That is no guarantee, and I can tell you because I've uncorked many a bottle that it will stop fermentation 100%. The only way you can really manage your fermentation to completeness is to sulfite and sorbate or to sterile filter. And sterile filtration is no guarantee either, as I can tell you that we've still had some challenges with some effervescence finishing into the finished product. And I can show people a magic trick when I uncork a bottle without a corkscrew.
I've had quite a few of those. I've had quite a few of those as well. I mean, it's tough, and the customer relations side to it is even worse. But the whole thing, I mean, I cold crash when I reach my final gravity, and then we'll run it through plate and frame down to 0.45, And now we've also taken some lessons from a few people in the industry, both wine and mead industry, and we're running everything through like 2 cartridge filtrations after that. I mean, a plate and frame filter, you're going to get about 60-70% effectiveness. Even if you're filtering at 0.45 microns, it's which is considered sterile filtration. It's only about up to 70% effective. Then we're running it through 2 cartridge filtrations right before it goes into the bottle through a bottling line. And those cartridge filters the first one is rated at 95% or higher. The second one is rated at 99.999%.
And those filter cartridges aren't cheap.
And no. Now that brings up $300 a piece. Yeah.
That stopped everybody for a second there. It got real quick.
So that brings up 2 more questions. Number one, what are the regulations on your alcohol? It's like, how much leeway do you have? Can you label it as 14% if it's 14.2 or 13.9?
And you've got to swing.
Yeah, and secondly, mentioning the sorbate, how do you feel that the sorbate affects flavor and aging?
Yeah, I personally don't add any sorbates, only because of the fear of if it just going bad. I've tasted a few commercial meads on the market that unfortunately didn't smell and taste like rotten geraniums. And that just scared the crap out of me, where I decided I'm never going to use sorbates on a commercial level. But
and I've heard the same thing on a homebrew level as well, which is the reason I asked the question. How much of a concern is that?
On a homebrew level, I wouldn't care too much about it, but on a commercial scale, I don't bother with it.
Yeah, we said there's other meters that do. Yeah, I've made mead as a home mead maker that I set aside for 2 or 3 years before bottling, and even the action of racking it and bottling it has caused fermentation to kick off again. So there's a lot to fermentation kinetics, whether it's the pH or the must, and pH, honey can buffer, so pH will change over time. So light change will cause that re-fermentation to take place. We're working hard not to sulfite or sorbate anything we make at this point. But, to say we've had challenges is an understatement. I mean, I've had to buy product back and, explain to customers that, something fermented is not bad per se. It's just a little more than we anticipated. So it's a complicated realm. I mean, when you're spending the money to buy your own product back to degas it and put it back into a bottle, that's increasing your costs pretty exponentially to make that product.
So for me or someone else as a home brewer looking to enter a competition, do you think that using sulfites and sorbates is going to negatively affect it in some way in the judging as far as flavor?
You have to measure your pH, so you have to have a really good pH meter so that you can put the right amount in. What Sergio was talking about is somebody that took a random guess. So when you're getting that geranium flavor, you're probably way over the threshold of what you needed to achieve. So I think federally it's like 25 parts per million or over, you're over the limit. So it's pretty low limit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the sorbate as well as
my recollection.
Yeah, sorbates will affect the flavor. Too much sulfites will also affect the flavor. Anything, I forgot what the threshold is on sulfites again, as far as what the human nose and palate can detect. But I could even pick up sulfites at very, very low amounts, and I particularly hate them. But I still use them just as an extra insurance policy, even going through all the filtrations that we're doing now. Just because it scares the crap out of me. If there's anything on the inside of my closure or inside the bottle that didn't come out after rinsing, that can still infect that bottle. I've had enough batches, which I've heard other meaderies have plenty of experiences, the same as we have. And plenty. I think out of like 40 something batches in a little less than a year and a half, we've had maybe like 5 recipes start fermenting in the bottle. You know, percentage wise, those numbers are pretty good, but one is one too many for me that I want to deal with. And but yeah, like Michael was saying, definitely as far as sulfiting and adding your sorbates, everything has to be based off of pH. And then the higher your pH, the more you're going to have to add. And when you look at these pH, the doses of, you have to look at the molecular parts per million of sulfites that you want to add based on your pH. So you could go anywhere from like, you know, the normals are like 0.8 molecular, parts per million molecular SO2. You go to 1 and 1.5. 1.5 is normally where you want to go if, like, in the wine world, what you consider a dessert wine. So 1.5 parts per million molecular SO2 is what you want to hit on, most of your semi-sweet to sweet meads. That's a lot, especially if you're in your 3.4 to 3.7 pH range at the end of your fermentation. That's a lot of sulfites to add. That's why I kind of went the route of I rather just like almost triple sterile filter, so to speak, and still sulfite, but knowing that I could add a lot less sulfites to my mead as well. Because of the additional filtration steps. On the homebrew scale, it definitely is a lot more of a challenge because you're not going to have.
Yeah, because if my math is correct, that would be over 30 some odd parts per million.
Of what?
Of sulfite.
JD, that really depends on what your pH is. So that number can scale up quite high and quite low.
Yeah. If you're finishing at like 3.2, you're really not adding that much, for example. But compared to like 3.4, 3.7, 3.8, depending on whatever your final pH is, I mean, it's going to vary quite a bit.
Well, I agree that scales do that.
Scott Labs on a number of blogs, but can't mention them enough. Scott Labs has a ton of this information available for free.
All right. I'm going to jump in here, and I know this is going to create a chorus of, Mom, can I stay up for another 30 minutes? But we're 2.5 hours in and way over our limit for the show, and Gotmead Live needs to go to bed. So there's going to be more. There's going to be more of this. This is fantastic, guys. I can't thank you enough for calling in, and you're welcome to stay for the after conversation if you are so inclined. But this is amazing and awesome. And Tysen and Alan and JD and I have been sort of back channeling on Skype. This is kind of where we want to see some of the panel discussions go as we go forward. We've got multiple panel discussions that we're planning, and I really want to dig deep around some of this stuff like this, because this is what creates that rising tide. This is what gets the word out to people so they feel like they can do this, that they can move forward, and that they can do anything they want to do with mead. So I want to do more.
You heard that, Michael? Of this. They want to milk us, basically. That's
they do want to milk you, yeah.
Hey, I got into Forbes magazine today. I mean,
yeah, you did get into Forbes magazine
congrats,
today.
By the way, man. That's awesome.
That's so awesome, yeah. And all you had to do was feel the burn, man. Totally awesome.
You know what? I threw the Forbes guys. The guys from Forbes called me up thinking I was the most ultra conservative. And when I dropped the Bernie Sanders line, he literally called me back 3 days in a row to double check all the information he had.
Because you totally threw him for a loop, right? So, I mean, here's the thing. You guys are going to be coming back. Yes, I am going to milk you for all you're worth. You're also going to get a lot of free AMMA advertising out of this, so it will work out. But I think this is, I'm getting tweets from, there's people at the UC Davis event that are listening to the thing while we prepare for another day at UC Davis. So we're getting tweets from all over, people going, this is amazing. So this is the kind of thing, this is what I want to see happening, a little bit more organized so that JD doesn't rip me up later, because JD likes organization. and he's right. We're kind of all over the map tonight, but we had fun. And so
JD calls me after hours too, so that's okay.
I know he does, right? Yeah, well, just say JD should be taking notes, because this is all about him learning how to make mead, right? That's why we do this. JD,
I've got a secretary who takes care of all of that for me. Right, AJ?
And learning how, because, and getting that spark underneath you, because that's what really got me going, is when I realized, I can open up someone's chest, stop their heart, fix it, put them back together, and bring them back to life. But I can't make a decent batch of mead.
I know, right? We all have our skill sets.
I can't cure anyone either, so that's okay.
Yeah, well, if I open up their chest and stop their heart, it's going to stay stopped. So, yeah.
We all have our strength. It's all right.
In my case, it was going to be beer brewing, but then after walking through my local craft beer selection at my liquor store, I figured I didn't need to add to the already confusion that exists on the shelf, so I chose mead. With that, a couple of things coming up, guys. Mazer Cup, March 18th and 19th, Broomfield, Colorado. If you haven't got your plane ticket yet, get them today. Book your room and get out there and take part in this thing. Entries are
and we're all going to be there.
Entries are closed, but hey, it doesn't mean you can't go out there and have some
fun. But there are still tickets available for the Meadmakrs, which is the largest public mead pour in the country, and they will have food pairing to go with the mead. It will be amazing. The AMMA and I will have a table there as well, so come out and play.
I don't live on the East Coast, but I'm going to give this name a shot. Rensselaerville, New York, the Carrie
Rensselaer.
Yeah, whatever. The Carey Institute.
There are dead New York moguls spitting in their graves right now.
The Carey Institute for Global Good will be hosting a workshop on the honey and mead production as part of the Farm to Glass Classroom Series. This is an opportunity for both novice and established mead makers and beekeepers interested in learning about the new market opportunity, as well as anyone interested in using honey in craft beverage production. The workshop is set for 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturday, May 10th at the Institute Guggenheim Pavilion. Admission is $20, payable at the door, although those interested in attending are asked to call Rebecca Platel at 797-56100 in advance. That's Rebecca.
You screwed up that phone number, dude.
No, sir. No, ma'am. I copied this right out of a post. So,
oh, wow. They're missing something there.
Call the Guggenheim Pavilion and ask for Rebecca Platel. Panelists are scheduled to appear include Paul Crappy, apiculturist from New York State Agriculture Markets. Peter Volker he's owner-operator of Heidelberg Meadworks in Waynesburg, Schenectady County, and Jamie Kelligur, head brewer for the Cave Mountain Brewery in Windham, Greene County. So check it out, Carey Institute, Tampa, Florida, Southern Brewing and Winemaking. Southern, they call it, is celebrating Cinco de Mayo with a special beer and mead release party on May 5th. They'll be tapping 6 pepper-treated meads, a pepper mead and a Mexican fruit mead. Treatments to be included.
Yeah, right?
A bungalow Weiss with jalapeno pepper, cilantro, and lime. A Saison Le Chiffre, or however you say that word, Chiffre.
With Brett.
Probably some kind of French word, I'm sure.
Chiffre, it means number.
Like Savage Boys.
Yeah, I'm going to cut short. Everything everything they're serving, Tampa, Florida, Southern Brewing and Winemaking, has got some form of pepper in it. And with a few meads. One of the meads.
I know the guava pineapple mead grabs me, man. I was just like, ooh.
That sounds.
They got to get a hold of some of our smolder raspberry chipotle mead.
You can get more information. You can call Southern at now. This phone number is correct: 813-238-7800, or you can simply go to their Facebook page,
which you don't have on there.
Well, it's this is right out of a post that I got from another website. It sounded interesting. I thought maybe we should share it with everybody else here. So, Southern Brewing and Winemaking. Just go to their Facebook page, or hey, you know what? Call the number 813-238-7800. Tell them you heard it here at Gotmead Live. They'll probably ask you what's that. But tell that, and then you say, well, call JD or Vicky, and they'll explain that to you. So anyway,
just say you don't know.
Just a couple of things that I thought we should make mention that were coming up here tonight.
Well, and one more shout out before we go on to next guest. Michael, don't you have a mead competition coming up soon?
Yes, we have Mead for Your Die taking place on April 30th. That's meadforyourdie.com.
There you go.
All right.
And we'll have
and
more
amateurs.
Yeah, this is the East. This is the big East Coast one. So, and we'll have more on this as we get closer and when Michael's ready to open up entries and all kind of fun stuff. Michael, keep me updated, okay?
Sure.
And this is a record setter. This is 2 hours and 43 minutes and 21 seconds. The last.
And how many people on?
Yeah, who needs to ask Oscar?
Not me. We want to thank Tysen Perzik, Alan Jones with Meadmakrs. Check them out. Give them the website, Tysen.
Tell them.
Yeah. meadmakr.com. Sergio loves it.
There you go, Meadmakrs.com. Sergio Mutella, Melavino Meadery out there in New Jersey. Good to have you on the show here tonight. Michael Fairbrother, awesome meads.
Moonlight Meadery.
Thanks for joining us tonight. And, of course, Doug out there.
You forgot Zeb Johnston. Lion's Head Mead. Yeah.
I'm getting there. Doug didn't even get a word in edgewise tonight, but he did join the show.
I've been listening.
There you
go. Lots of great discussions on the Jan, which has been one of my Jan and pH are the two issues that I am most interested in. And it was a great discussion. So I can't wait for the post-game discussion, too, or post-show.
Post-show, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, Sergio, I need an article from you called Mead with Jan, and then we'll just link over to the MMA site.
Can I put a Swedish guy on the post?
Totally can, yeah. We could just do the Swedish chef from the, we'll probably get called by Sesame or by the Muppet people, but it's
Zeb Johnston for joining us here tonight. Throw a plug out there, Zeb.
Look for Lion's Head Meadery this spring.
What's the website?
lionsheadmeadery.com.
lionsheadmeadery.com. Zeb Johnson.
Yeah. Opening this spring, so be ready. Have your dollars ready to throw it at Zeb.
You bet. Mississippi Chris joining us tonight all the way from some operating room in a hospital in Mississippi. And
shoulder deep in somebody's chest while he drinks mead and talks to us.
Joining you from my living room in Mississippi with 40 pounds of raspberries to juice.
She's going to be up all night. So
that's shoulder deep in a different kind of red.
Yeah, that's right.
That's going to do it for another session of Gotmead Live. You can join us next Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, right here at Gotmead.com.
And we forgot to say who is next week.
Well, you really want to tune in because Pete Bakulich is going to join us, and he's going to talk about, this is Oscar, folks. You really want to join us next Tuesday night because he's going to be talking Mazer Cup. So
it's little known that Pete is the power behind the power. Pete is the power and the throne at the Mazer Cup. He's the president of the Mazer Cup organization right now.
You bet. Pete Bakulich will be joining us, and that's Oscar to everybody on the Gotland floor. So with that, say goodnight, Vicky.
Good night, Vicky.
Good night, AJ.
Good night, AJ.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, right here at Gotmead Live.